Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest Gold, the best weekly Stardom and Marigold podcast anywhere in the world. I'm as always Alex, and I'm joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. This is actually the first time ever that I am recording a podcast after I already worked today.
Whoa.
I woke up at 5 a.m. to work a half shift until about a half hour ago. So that's fun. I'm eating lunch. It's a muffin. You know how I love my sweet treats.
Return of the
and my-
foodie.
yeah, I love my baked goods and whatnot.
Of course.
So yeah, but I'm here. I'm happy. I felt like it was a good weekend of wrestling, for the most part at least. And
Most part.
yeah, I was happy. I loved the Marigold Korkauen. I thought Nagoya was um kind of limited. Like it had a ceiling, but I thought most of it was good.
Okay.
And one of the best angles of the year in Stardom, I think, happened on that show. So I was happy with that as well. Um, and also Mask Fiesta is announced, and that brightened my mood immensely. So
Hell yeah.
I've been
All
all
right.
right.
Well,
I've been all right.
we might as well get into it because there's a good bit. But head on over to the 5starnetwork.co for all of the articles and podcasts from the One for World Wrestling. Head on over to the 5 Star Network YouTube channel, which is where the shows tend to go up, like the No Limit Wrestling show. You haven't mentioned anything to do with that lately, so I'm assuming there's nothing.
Yeah, we're
And
not even taking a break. It's just that we did an episode last month. It was just early last month, so now it's
right,
like it feels like it's been a long time, but it's like we did our monthly episode, so
I
we
see.
just have
Yeah,
to do one this month at some point.
well, I'm sure you guys will have something sorted out eventually.
Yeah.
And yeah, Actress stage goes up. I know they have like a Cork and Hall show soon, so maybe a good time to like check in with Actress and see
They have
who's
a
gonna get
fucking
poached
lion.
next. They have a lion, yeah, a lion GM.
I thought people were like making jokes about Daga, and then I was like, oh no, that's just a lion.
It's an actual
Okay.
lion, yeah. It's incredible. On
I
the
wonder if
news
that
front.
lion's hungry.
Oh my god. Okay. So there was like a Bushiroad shareholder meeting thing that um was posted onto Twitter by Bushiroad and only posted to Twitter by Bushiroad for the link. So I don't even think this is on their official website. They only posted it on a tweet. And it's in Japanese. So I did go through to the effort of translating some bits of it. And essentially there was some stuff to do obviously with Stardom because like the growth of Stardom is a key thing for New Japan and then the Bushiroad fight, former Bushiroad fight section. And one of the things is that they were hoping to run more corporate synergy stuff. They were saying like we want to see more, the women's matches on New Japan shows, but also the other way around. So they are hinting at doing more New Japan offer matches on Stardom shows as well,
Which
which
makes
is
no sense. And it's kind
int-
of dumb.
I have to imagine it's like, um, maybe to like sell tickets. It's like, oh well, people are gonna show up to see show versus some guy, and then they will
See,
also
I,
like
but I,
the
I don't like that. I think I would be cool if they did mixed tag matches more than just at X Over. That's as much as I want. Like if you put Desperado and Kid in a tag match on the February pay-per-view, sure. You know what I mean? Like or on a Korakuen, sure. Like once in a blue moon, pop a rating and get Desperado on. That's cool. Like whatever. But don't throw just fucking Drilla Maloney versus like Bushi on there. Like why the fuck would you do like don't stop. Like that nobody wants that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I think there are ways if you really want to get the dudes on Stardom shows, at least have it like relate to Stardom, because like
Well, that means
otherwise
you're
it's
getting
like,
Clark Connors and like Desperado or something. So I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I
I
would
don't know if
love
they'll
that,
actually
but
do it. Like they could just be talking out their arse for
that's
shareholders. But
preferable to them running Desperado versus Clark Connors in a singles match on a Stardom show to pop a
very
ticket.
true. Very
You know
true.
what I mean? Like
Um,
maybe, I don't know. Actually, Clark Connors and Despy's a good
don't
pairing, and
don't
Tekla is bad. So
don't
I
do
don't
this.
know.
Don't.
Like that does actually. I'm contemplating it. I don't know.
Okay. Right. Um, they also were talking about improving Stardom World, and I just thought, please leave it alone. It is not good as it is, but do not make it worse. That is all I ask. So I don't know if they're
Yeah.
actually going to do it or they just meant we're live streaming there now. Deal with it. But they were kind of being like, okay, like Stardom World isn't up to stuff. It's very old. We're looking at kind of making it better.
Which,
And
to be fair, it's been outdated since like the year they got it, and Sonny
yeah,
even said that at the time. He was like, we're going to improve it. We kind of like got locked into this deal. It's not great. Just give us a few years." And it's been a few years, and it hasn't improved.
he's not there
So,
anymore. So
and he's not there anymore. So yeah, I mean, like in a way, like yeah, you should improve it because it's not a good website. But um, there's definitely like everybody says there's improvement on things from a tech standpoint, and it never is. I mean, 2K20 was meant to be an improvement on 2K19, and it wasn't. Like you know what I mean. Like everything is meant to be an improvement, and
yeah,
sometimes it just isn't. It backtracks completely. Because nobody goes out of their way to make things worse, but through trying to improve something, it sometimes just doesn't work. That's the fear there, because that is kind of what happened with New Japan World. Um, but if Stardom World gets put on like Roku's and shit, I'm cool. Like shit,
yeah,
why not?
yeah.
That'd be
They
cool.
might do that. I don't know what they were really thinking of when they said they're going to improve it, but maybe more accessible is the goal. But
Hmm.
I don't really know. Again, this is a shareholder thing. They could just be talking out their arse to appease to them. The one good
Yeah,
thing they
true that.
said though is that they were hoping to bringing the women more into Fantastic Mania, which I think would be great. I like the CMLL women's division, and obviously Stardom is very good. And we saw, was it Juvia and Garachita against Kid and
Hmm.
Rock, and it was like really fun.
Lucius.
Zooks, oh yeah, yeah, even better. But like we saw that, and it was really fun to see like Starlight Kid and Rocco work against these like luchador baby faces. So like, if they wanted to do more of that, I don't think I'm opposed. I can't imagine
Viva
anybody would
Mexico.
be. Hell yeah. Um, it may have been like other stuff, but I couldn't really keep track because it was like people would get a chance to ask a question, and it could be about New Japan and Stardom, or it might have been about like the trading card stuff or the idol music games they make.
Hmm.
So I was kind of just skipping around for anything related to New Japan or Stardom. So I might have missed something, but I did my best, and that's all we can. Um, on the other bits of news, Min Shirakawa was announced for Global Wars on the 16th of October. She's defending the double Rev Pro South Side women's title thing against Lizzie Evo, who I enjoyed before she signed with WWE, and I haven't seen much of her since, but I do know she was like quite highly sought after in the UK scene. So she was good. Haven't seen her since she left WWE. Don't know if she's still good, but I'm gonna assume she's still all right. So
What? Xavier just texted us about Zack Ryder just out of the blue. That's great. Um,
Zack
yeah,
Ryder, wow.
British. I don't know. Yeah, he texted the group chat. He's like, people don't know about how cool Zack Ryder was in 2011. I was like, you're right, but
Is that not when he peaked? Is that not when everybody
where'd
loved
that
him?
come from?
Or
No,
was
but
it
he's saying
too
people
late?
now don't understand,
Oh, yeah.
which is true. Which is true. Zack Ryder, first person I ever followed on Twitter. I don't know,
Oh,
like you know
okay.
that, yeah, for real. Um, I would rather talk about Zack Ryder than Britt Russ. That's where we're at. Yeah, Mina is defending her belt.
Okay. I don't think there was anything else. Oh, there was the rookie tournament in Sendai, but I
Oh,
haven't
I watched
actually
that.
looked at it yet. How did Aya do? How did Rian do?
That's a good question. Rian, I remember. No, I remember Rian.
She lost
Oh
straight
yeah,
away.
they both did fine.
Okay.
Yeah, neither of them did anything particularly interesting. I like that Spike girl that they brought
Oh, yeah,
over
Spike.
from America. She's pretty cool. And then Aya versus Yuzuki was fine. Uh, Yuzuki's a lot like Ruaka, so like imagine Yuzuki versus Aya Sakura. Put it in Sendai Girls. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
but
Well,
no heel stuff, so it was a little bit better than that probably would have been.
Yuzuki is from the Ice Ribbon offshoot, isn't she? Hot
She's from
Shushu or
Hot
something?
Shushu. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's really strange because Neo Plus opened it and then they were like, "We're selling Ice Ribbon, by the way." So strange.
Yeah,
But
I don't know. That was the first time I ever watched her. Those her two matches there. She beat uh uh Soy in a quite a good match. It was a lot of fun.
love soy. We like to see the
It was
soy.
hot shit. Yeah.
All right. I think that's all the news. The other stuff we'll get to during
Mhm.
the card because obviously Okan showed up. But yeah, the first show that happened this past week was last Wednesday, the day we released this. Stardom Nighter and Korkauen. They did 844 Korkauen Hall, which is like a fine enough number. I think obviously they would want more people, given the gimmick of Stardom Nighter is to get people in the door with cheaper tickets. But they didn't actually like pay on the show either, which is always a lot of companies would bite your hand off for a Korkauen without running anything of
Yeah.
substance.
Not Marigold
Marigold,
though.
for one, would snap at
They
your
they get
hands
they get they get
for a
they
900.
get 1200. They get 1200 on nothing, man.
That's true. That is true. Um,
Yeah.
I don't see a point in like going this because a lot of what we would say is, oh, this built to the pay per view, but obviously we watched the pay per view. We're going to review the pay per view, so we're just going to go through the results and obviously talk about the one big angle. Because the rest of it, I don't really see a point. So in the
I have one
opening
comment on one
match,
of the matches, but that's it.
okay, that's good. Azumi and Suzu Suzuki beat Tam Nakano and Aya Sakura. Azumi got the win for her team over Aya in just under 13 minutes. That was obviously a Tam Suzu preview tag.
Hmm.
Um, After that, we had, doesn't really tell me who, but Rocca, Rina, and Azusa Inaba beat Miyu
Yes.
Amasaki, Hina, and Tomoka Inaba in just under 9
Yes.
minutes. I'm going to assume it's Rocca because it's the neck hanging bomb, and that is her move. So Rocca pinned Hina in just under 9 minutes, which is
Man.
an interesting.
This poor girl. But
I
yeah.
know. And that was obviously a preview tag for Kevin versus Rena. So, you can see the theme of the show. Momo Watanabe beat Momo Kogo in just under 9 minutes with a B driver. Momo Kogo you are the biggest loser. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Suri, Lady C, Rani Yagami, and Nanami beat Xena, Wakasuyama, Hanako, and Rian in 11 minutes. Somebody won with a Northern Lights suplex hold. I maybe it was Siri.
I
Did
didn't
she do
watch
a
that
Northern
one.
Lights suplex?
I don't
Maybe it was
think so.
Lady C or Nanami. Could have been.
I could,
Who
you just
knows?
don't look at the pictures well enough. You can usually find out just by looking at the
Did
pictures.
look a bit like Lady C was pinning somebody, but I don't know. See
Yeah,
Waka
it
selling.
doesn't matter. I'm looking, but it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, no, it doesn't at all. So we had a double count out then. Hazuki and Koguma wrestled to a double count out with Starlight Kid and May
This is the only
Sarah.
match I want to talk about briefly.
Okay, go ahead.
Because this was very good. Funnily enough, this is exactly the finish I told Marigold to do for
Yes.
Nozaki versus Mirai. I was like, and I was explaining it very like long-wittedly as I do, and then they just did it here, and I was like, yeah, just do that. This was great. This was a very good match. It was just like I feel like almost every show, like every couple weeks, Stardom gives me like a tremendous tag team match just
Hmm.
to make sure I'm still in it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Um, Usually it involves FWC or I mean like last week it was the Stars tag, the All Stars tag. Um, it usually involves FWC stars in general and Neo Genesis. But this was just another one where I was just like, oh, this was just very good. It was better than most of the pay per view card, and I thought the pay per view card was pretty good.
Okay,
So like,
that's interesting.
yeah, I appreciate them still, even though the tag champions suck. I appreciate them still giving me good tag team matches
All
on
right.
most of the shows.
Our next match was Natsuko Tora, Sayaka Mitani, Tekla, and Konami beating Natsupoi, Suri Ano, Unimizumori, and Sayaka Kurara in an elimination tag. Tekla last pinned Natsupoi to win the match for her team after interference from Clark Connors, where he speared Natsupoi, who was
Out of her
conflicted.
goddamn boots.
Yes, he did hit a good spear, in fairness. This set up the Natsupoi Tekla match where they did a very similar spot. Natsupoi was standing over Tekla, ready to hit her. Tekla was like, no, like remember we were friends, like don't do it. And obviously here she got speared for her mercy. So that set up the finish to the white belt match. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And yeah, Mark Connors. I think people obviously were kind of like, oh, we're doing like War Dogs, Bullet Club stuff in Stardom now.
She
And
has always been like people think I was joking. Her nickname is the War Bitch. She is a
yeah,
member of War Dog. Like that, she's an honorary member of War Dogs.
cheers.
That is true. Like that
This is
is.
obviously like we're
I'm not
in
joking.
historic crossover season. This is probably building to something at historic
Yeah.
crossover. I imagine Tekla and Clark are going to team probably against Natsupoi and some babyface. But yeah, let's just hope it is
It'll probably
only
be.
for historic crossover and
It'll
not
probably be
after.
Tekla and Hate Member, which is probably Momo, and Clark against not Despy, against Tai Chi and Meltier. That's probably what it will be.
Taichi. Oh yeah, I forgot
Because
he
Tai Chi and Tam.
existed. That's
Well,
fair.
because
Okay.
Natsupoi's former partner, who gave her the whiskey, is now an evil bad guy. So, I mean, he's always been a evil bad guy, but now he's actually like, he can't really do that.
Okay.
So they're probably just gonna put like Tai Chi in there, or they'll just do like just five guys in general, since that's the alliance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I explained who Clark Connors was to someone who like only watches Joshi, and he said, "Oh, so like Sayaka Mitani, but worse." I was like, "Yes, exactly." Um,
All right, let's not do
because
Sai
he
like that. Let's not do
no,
that.
because he was a great uh or I actually kind of like Tekla. I think he is similar to Tekla in a way because he was a great junior heavyweight as a babyface. He had really good Best of Super Juniors performances, and then they turned him heel because they didn't know what to do with this random white dude uh, in the junior division, and now he's just bad. So
Hmm,
I think he is like Tekla.
okay.
Like his babyface run was like Tekla's early DDM stuff, and now he's like Tekla now and bad. Um, except he doesn't have Momo to drag him up. He has real fucking Maloney. Ugh. But yeah,
I
so
thought you were a
that's
big driller.
I'm not. Everybody says I am, including Ash this morning, and that pissed me off. I'm tired of it. But but no, so he is very similar to Tekla in like career trajectory, where it's like, oh, she seems pretty good. That's pretty good, and then she's can't wrestle a good match at a certain point. After turning heel. So
Let's see.
that's what you should expect there.
Okay.
I thought the
In
angle
our
was dumb. But,
obviously.
and this was obviously further proven on the pay per view. I like that we're just like doing intergender now instead of the weird kids
I don't
gloves
trust that
shit.
Okan thing. I don't trust the Okan thing. They're gonna give it a stupid stipulation. I can already see it.
I think I
I'm
know what's gonna go
convinced.
there. There's two possible wrestlers that I could see him facing. But we'll
Yes.
talk about
We
that
can
later.
get to that, yeah.
But I do think that Clark just spearing not to play out of her boots. I was like, okay, so now we're not like scared of like I appreciate that. That was the one thing I was like, that's all right. That's cool that we're not
Okay.
doing the dumb shit anymore.
All right.
But this is still dumb. It was dumb, but different dumb.
Different dumb. In our main event, Timeless Tony Storm, Mina Shirakawa, and Maika beat Mayu Iwatani, Hanan, and Saya Ida. Tony got the win for her team in 13 minutes, just under 14 minutes, when she pinned Hanan with the Storm Zero. Once again, this was a preview tag for the pay per view, and I guess we should just go straight on to Nagoya Golden Fight 2024 in the Aichi Dolphins Arena. This had 1,526 fans. I have been dutifully informed that this is the highest Stardom number in Nagoya ever.
Mhm.
It is allegedly the third highest Nagoya show of the year, although that can be disputed because Dragon Gate likes to multiply their numbers by at least 5, and cage matches are really awful for Nagoya. Like it has 5 different venues for the same 2 venues, and I'm like, why are you so difficult? So it might be number 3, but it might also not be number 3 because they just don't have the numbers there. I don't know, but it is good either
It
way,
is one of the highest.
definitely. And it does. People are like, "Oh, Taro Okada has saved Stardom," and I think comparing this year to last year is really not fair because like last year was a headless chicken running around. You know, especially this time of the year, everybody was dead. Like everybody was hurt. All the stories were bad. Nothing was working at this point last year. And for most of last year, when we were saying from April, this company is not really doing well, if you look beyond the big Yokohama show, like everything is a bit all over the place. So comparing it to 2023 is a little bit like cherry picking. Because largely, I feel like in 2022 they were doing 12 to 1300 in this same venue.
Yeah,
We've
and
just
2022
stabilized.
also was still COVID in Japan, like very heavily,
Yeah,
and they
you've
were doing pretty much similar.
yeah. So I feel like Taro has largely stabilized things, and
Mhm.
then I would say the other 200, and I said this last week. That's Dump Matsumoto. That is star of the Netflix show Dump Matsumoto, who got Marvelous to a sold out Shinkiba the other day, and I can tell you with certainty, Marvelous is not sell out Shinkiba. Like that is not Marvelous's bag at all. But you know, her ties to Marvelous, obviously, and Marvelous getting a lot of promotion with the show probably got a lot of people in the door, and I would imagine
Yeah, I
this
mean,
was them returning to normal.
Marvelous is like 20 actresses' favorite wrestling promotion.
Yeah, literally, like everybody loves it. So I would imagine that the extra couple hundred here was from Dump, and we will
Mhm.
know more when she's on the Korakuen because Natsuko was like, "Hey, let's do stuff on the Korakuen." So we'll see there if she's still drawing. And obviously, if they go to Nagoya again, we'll know a little bit more. But yeah, I would say, you know, slow the brakes just a little bit on the whole Taro has saved the world thing. Don't know yet, but he has
Yeah,
stabilized
yeah.
things, and he deserves some
I think
credit for that.
I think there are things that I will 100% give the booking team credit on the show. Um, but and I said this to you last week, that's like a lot of what Stardom is right now is like you just need to set up your pieces properly. Like it's not that like when you look at this roster and when you look at the connections he has, like you said with Dump, like you know just Stardom's biggest company in Joshi, so Joshi wrestlers want to work there if for special spots and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's like and he doesn't have the baggage that Rossi did. So it's like when you have what he has at his disposal, you should be doing well.
Mm,
He's just learning how to book, frankly, and that's why sometimes these things are worse than other times. You know what I mean? Like he's not a refined booker yet, which is perfectly fine. But really, you should be doing a good job here because it's you don't have the ex-president in here in the weeds deciding that he wants Ram Kai Chow, who doesn't work here, to get pushed um randomly. Like like we don't. It's a lot more streamlined. It's a lot calmer. And like you said, stabilized. So there should be that level. Like this should be happening. You know what I mean? Not to take credit away
mm.
from him, but this is how it should be. Is a stable, competent wrestling company.
It's
Because look at the roster and look at the backing. You know what I mean?
pretty much. In the pre-show of this card, Yuna Mizumori won a 5-way battle
High,
royal
s- a high speed title
the
match. Yeah.
to earn a high-speed championship match. That's an interesting move. I didn't think they would go with Unimon, but I can't say I'm
Kokomo was out
upset.
first,
Yeah, Kogumo going out first is crazy.
and then she went backstage. She's like, "Well, once let me use them." Walks away. I was like, "That's yeah,
I'm just
you're right."
resigned to never seeing high-speed Koguma ever again, which is very upsetting. But
She might beat Mei Sarah. Like they might be giving Mei Sarah some defenses so that Koguma can get the belt.
I I have no idea. Either way,
Either way,
Yuna Mizumori and Sarah should be very good. I think
yeah,
that's a
it'll be fun.
pretty standard match to do.
Rana used a roll up that looked really cool. Um, like it was like a triangle lancer
Paradiddly.
roll up.
I think they're calling it the Paradiddly. This is a
Oh
drumming
yeah,
thing.
she does do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Okay.
the name of that.
We opened the show because I didn't watch the pre-show. I forgot. With a Future of Stardom Championship match, Rina lost her championship on the 13th attempt to Miyu Amasaki, who got the pin with the Tensei in 14 minutes. This was really good. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but I thought Miyu Amasaki especially was like an extra level above where she usually is. That one like holding on where she had Rena on her hip and DDT'd her and looked like she might have broken a neck was insane.
Oh, the
Um,
Rampage, the
yes, the
Cradle.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Rampage, of course, yeah, Paige Saraya, whatever her name is. But
She
yeah, I
changed the
thought
name.
Miyu
Rampage is a good name for that move, so I'm just
is
calling it
is
the
a good name.
Rampage. Not even because of her.
But yeah, I thought Miyu was very good in this, and I mean, Rena is like she's an expert at this style at this stage, so obviously she was good as well. But I thought Miyu Amasaki as the woman of 1,000 DDTs was very impressive.
Yeah, I thought that like most of this match was like good, but then the closing stretch was tremendous.
Mm.
Um, Rena, I don't know if anybody noticed this. She was looking for the package pile driver for the Tiger Lily, second half
Ooh,
of the Tiger Lily
okay.
at one point, and I was like, guys, like I watched this the next day. I wasn't talking to anybody, but I was just like, did she just do what I thought she did? Which I thought was really cool. So I think that's cool that she's kind of teasing that a little bit. Um, More people should do package pile drivers. I don't know why they don't,
Yes.
but yeah, and I thought that the tense they kick out, I was like, oh fuck, are we not doing it? Because we should probably
Yeah, I
probably
thought Miyu
do
might
it.
have like a new finisher, but instead she decided to like break Rena's neck for a second, just
Yeah, and then
casually.
hit a second tense day. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. I think by now, and I kind of brought this up sparingly with the Aya match. I think I'm just kind of like over saturated with Rena singles matches of this kind. Because they're all good, but I was just like, I'm happy there's a new champion because I was definitely gonna start turning on these matches because they are very similar. Uh,
mm,
but they're good, and especially for someone who's 17 years old. You know, what I mean, like she's great. But I was just like, yeah, this is the 13th time. I'm ready. I'm ready for something different here. So
all
I
right.
wasn't as high on it as you were, but I did think it was a very good match.
That's fine. I think Miyu is a good choice for the champion. I was kind of
Yeah.
saying that anyway last week. You can basically run back a lot of the defenses, and then he can hold it long enough that I imagine they'll have some new rookies to challenge her if they want that as their one of
I
their
don't think
first
she
big
can.
matches.
She can only hold her for like 5 months,
Depends. I think they have some at ringside, which seems like they might be close to debuting, but I don't know.
essentially.
Like unless she's just dropping it to Hanako, but I would imagine she's gonna have something with the belt, and even then, I mean, her losing it to somebody like Aya or Carrara would be a good way to get them a big win either way. So no, she's good. I think she's good as a champ.
Hmm.
Um, what was after that? Oh, speaking of Sayaka Kurara, Saya Kamatani beat Sayaka Kurara in just under 13 minutes with a Star Crusher. Again, I thought this was a very good match. I thought they did what they did really well. Saya Kamatani was just like a nasty heel working on top. She was like daring Kurara to fight her and, beat her again. And Kurara was doing really well as the babyface, as she always does. And you could maybe say it went a little bit too long for what they were doing, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't criticize you, but I thought they did really well, and I thought they gave Carrara a lot of room to shine. I think Saya getting big singles matches and just getting to beat up on baby faces is a good way to use her.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst hate singles match on this card, but it wasn't the best.
Okay.
I,
Um.
no, but frankly, I think this match kind of hinged on Sayaka having a solid hope spot and just like kind of like
mm,
getting those near falls, and they accomplished that. So I didn't think too low of this match, but I still just don't really like Saya on top in these sorts of matches. Um, I think that because Sayaka can't do that much, it makes what Saya doesn't do, can do but doesn't do, way more noticeable.
I see.
So I think the Starlight Kid match is the opposite of this. Starlight Kid sometimes does too much, but in the Saya match, that made it better because it felt like it was like a frantic like, oh, I got an opening, I'm going full tilt. I don't think that a rookie can do that really, like Sakakara. So I think this did have a ceiling on it for that reason because I still, like I said, I don't think Saya brings much to the table from like the early going type of parts of the match where she's just kind of beating on you. Uh, so I thought it was like it wasn't bad by any means, but I did think it was yeah, you know. And also the whispering shit, I took points off for that.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it.
I was
Stop
gonna
it.
bring it up. I don't know what they're doing with the whispers. I don't know why they keep doing it. Like, Tekla did it to Natsupoi as well. Are you just like, is this a thing? This is what hate
It's
does,
to tease a connection that
right?
sometimes pays off and sometimes doesn't. Just stop.
So
I don't need it.
when Kurara helps Kamatani win the belt, do
Yeah.
we then say this was genius?
No, I'm gonna say
No.
that was dumb as
Okay.
shit, and I think this is terrible.
Okay.
But no,
Right.
that's exactly what I thought. I was like, holy fuck, is Carrara gonna turn on Tam at like to
That'll be really
get
funny.
side of the belt? That would be
I don't think
crazy.
you're gonna have another hate child though, so maybe not. And
Uh,
again,
th-
maybe you can. Speaking
yeah,
of hate, actually, I forgot this. Sai Kamatani was announced for the Wave Korkan on the 4th of November, I think it is, and that's when she's getting
yeah,
her title match with Miyazaki. So I think we're going to see
yes.
Sai Kamatani with at least one belt soon. And I think they're going to go all in on heel
It'd be so
Kamatani.
based if Yuki Miyazaki beat her though.
It would be funny, but I also don't think there's much more legs to her as champion. So
Oh, there
they're
isn't,
probably better off with Saya.
but it'd be funny.
That's fair, honestly. I won't argue. Our next match was Dump Matsumoto, Zap, Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Konami, and Rocca beating Maika, Mina Shirakawa, Xena, Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Rian. Um, Natsuko won in 9 minutes against Waka with a Death
This was
Valley bomb.
9 minutes.
Yes.
How did they get 9 minutes out of this? Like half the people didn't tag in.
It was weird, wasn't it? It was just kind of
Yeah,
the
it was just Mina.
Atrocious Alliance and Hate like posing over baby faces for 9 minutes, and then they just won. And I thought that was it. Like they did come out to the dump music though, which did add at least 5 out of 10 points to this one because the dump music is awesome. And yeah, dump just whacking everything with her cane got good reactions from the crowd. So this was pretty bad, but it also was kind of it is what it is.
It was a
Hate
nothing
were in
sandwich.
T-shirts. That's how you know they were in
Yeah.
T-shirt Naito mode. They weren't even they weren't even trying. It was incredible.
Funnily enough, Zap actively tried harder than almost everybody else in this match.
Yeah, Roca
It
had
was
her hair
Zap and
tied up
Micah.
and everything. She was like,
Yeah.
I'm not even letting the hair down for this one, man.
But yeah,
We're going home."
Zap and Micah did like a cool little sequence, and that was the only
Yeah,
good thing about it. Please stop putting Dump against Mina. I'm
yeah.
tired of it.
I don't get it because the dump is not losing. Like dump has dump
No,
lost in the last 10 years. Like that's not happening.
I
Um,
think she might
Also,
have lost like a exhibition to Chigusa or something. You know what I
the
mean?
thing with Dump is, I saw her a couple months ago when Natsuko was on the Gokwaku festival thing.
Mhm.
Physically, she is somehow even worse, like than a couple months ago. She cannot walk. She couldn't walk anyway, but she even more can't walk now.
Yeah.
So it's not fun, but I do think they're gonna keep bringing her in for these
Hey,
kind of
she's getting
matches.
paid.
Yes, and that's all we need. And also, if
That's
it's
my
six
favorite
on
part of this
six, you
match.
can work around it. Like you
Yeah,
can just fill it with bodies.
that was my
Um,
favorite part of this match is that freelance Tomoka Watanabe got paid and Dump Matsumoto got paid.
Indeed.
Oh,
Um,
and Watanabe got to hang out with Meisera because
oh yeah,
Chigusa did her dirty, and she's like, "I still love you, though. You still my girl."
yeah. Tomoko not showing up in Marvelous ever after leaving is one of those like interesting things. Um,
Yeah. Oh, after
and she's
this,
done
they
actress too.
announced.
But yeah, the Natsuko's like, hey, let's team up in the Corkin on the
Oh no, I was
27th
talking
as
about
well.
Marvelous.
Oh, what were you gonna say?
After this was the Great Okan thing and the first match announcement
But yeah,
for.
Okan is on the website, so I
Yeah,
would have.
I did not
They
know that.
made sure to give him, yeah. So as I said earlier, it is historic crossover season. Probably going to be Stardom's biggest show of the year. I imagine it will do really well again, like it did the first time. We got our first match announcement, which I think they're already giving it the big treatment because this is presumably El Desperado's return. I
It
don't
is.
know
He
if
can't
he's
walk
on.
yet.
Oh right, okay, cool. So El Desperado and Starlight Kid are getting to team up as people expected. Who are they against, Dylan? I cannot remember.
Micah and Zack Sabre Jr., the Taco
That's
Disciples.
true. Yes, the 2 tournament winners from the summer. So
This is also I'm like, this feels like a match that would have happened at the Despy Invitational,
yeah,
because it's
pretty
like
much.
Despy's like, oh, I get to hang out with my ex tag partner, I get to hang out with my favorite women's wrestler, and I get to fight the women's wrestler I want to fight. That perfect. Like I find it very funny that they're like, Despy, if you can get back in time, we're giving you your match. I think that's really sick.
So I think that's a cool match to do. I'd imagine
Mhm.
Micah and Zach win, given Zach is so much
Probably
further
gonna be
above
champion.
Desperado in the chopping order. Um, and yeah, I mean, it is Desperado's return. I feel like they'd be like, oh, he's rusty or whatever.
Like I
But
said,
that is a good
he
first
still
start.
cannot currently walk
Yes, that
properly.
is pretty weird. Pretty
So
crazy.
he's going to be trying to get better in a month in time to wrestle. Um,
Okay.
he's still limping.
Um, Then the great Khan of all people showed up and was like, "I am offering somebody an opportunity at the crossover show. I will let a woman fight for the KOPW championship. This belt has no rules, so surely men and women can fight for it, and we can set rules that anybody wants. For example, only women can use weapons in the match, or women can form multiple tag teams in the match." Um,
Some of
so
this is bad. Yeah.
my initial thought on this was, please, for the love of God, no. Um, I don't know if there's anybody in Stardom I want to see work a 90-10 Great Okan match where he doesn't sell because lol women. And then I was like, they're gonna do some really silly stipulation where they're only allowed to grapple. Because isn't Okan's thing that he's a grappler? He's like an
Yeah, no, that
esteemed
the
wrestler.
I think at this point he was like a legitimate
Yeah.
wrestler.
So they're gonna do
Um,
like a ground
he's
rules
an
match
MMA
or
guy.
something with him
Yeah.
and Siri or something.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna be like a UWF match between him and Shuri. Um, which I'm cool with. I think it would be fun. Great Khan's gotten a lot better this year. And I think that would be a fun match. And I think Shuri's one of the only people who would like force some respect out of that situation.
Right.
Alternatively, it'll be a pose off against Saida,
Oh my. Okay.
because like that's the thing about this belt, the King of Pro Wrestling, is that it's like he used to have food fights, like eating competitions. Um, it's like a bunch of dumb shit. They've done like grappling matches before, and like I said, Great Khan wasn't he was pretty bad, but the G1 he started being good. He was one of the better wrestlers in the G1, I would say, because the G1 had some stinky wrestlers. Um, but so I think like him versus Shuri would be fun, actually.
Okay.
Problem is Shuri would lose that, and people are not a fan of Great Khan, so that's kind of stinky. Like Xavi suggested, like man, Scott appears. Xavi suggested that like man, I wish it was just like Shuri versus Kushida, which would work better. Like that would be
Mm,
a better intergender match because Kushida's smaller. They both are really good technical wrestlers, and they've wrestled before. They've wrestled in Tajiri's promotion. So like things like
Smash?
that would be fun.
WNC?
Yeah, and
Smash?
it was
Yeah.
either Smash or WNC.
They were
Um,
both jury promotions, but I don't know
yes,
which
that's why I
one
just
she
said
was
it's a
on
Tajiri
for. Yeah.
promotion. Um, but they ran like that. Like I think it was a mixed tag, but they've wrestled before. That would be fun, a lot more fun than the Grailcon match. But I get why they're doing this, and I think it's a cool opportunity. They could definitely make it really dumb and annoying and frustrating. But I think if you just go with a grappling match, Great Okan versus Shuri, I think it works.
That's, we'll have to wait and see. 'Cause I don't have any
It would be really
hopes.
funny if Shuri just beat him. I think that would be the
Probably.
funniest thing ever. And Shuri's
No, because
probably
then
the
they'd be
only.
saddled with the King of Pro Wrestling belt.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the big
Exactly.
issue. Unless
That would be the
their corporate
funniest part.
synergy is going to extend to intergender King of Pro Wrestling
Well, I
matches
mean, to be
on
fair,
shows.
what could happen? I mean, the King of Pro Wrestling only exists every year. So like she could just win this match and then they just don't run a King of Pro Wrestling until the end. She ends the year as the King of Pro Wrestling. Like they don't even have to run it back. She never has to
Do
defend it
they
again.
crown a new one then
Yeah, they crown a new one
on
in a
January
battle royal
4th?
every January
Oh,
4th.
okay.
Because
What an
okay,
interesting belt.
I hate that I'm bringing this, that I'm like explaining
That
this.
like weird phase where they were giving Okada whatever he wanted was
Yeah,
really messy.
Naito
I
told
guess.
him to take it back like a
Huh,
week ago. But
honestly, I think I don't actually want AEW to get their hands on this. That would be awful.
it's a provisional belt. So basically, nobody's the
First of all
champion
time.
until the end of the year.
Right. Okay.
So the last defense of the year is the true King of Pro Wrestling Championship match.
Okay.
Everything else is provisional. And then you become the King of Pro Wrestling for that year. Like last year, Taichi was the King of Pro Wrestling. Year before, I'm sure it was Yano or something. I don't remember. Uh, yeah, that's how the belt works. So yeah, sure, he could just win it and then never defend it again. And it's just New Japan Pro Wrestling's King of Pro Wrestling for 2024.
Sure. I guess. On to good wrestling. Starlight Kid beat Hazuki in just under 20 minutes with a Momo latch. This was insane. I saw people downplaying this, but this was insane. Hazuki, those headbutts, Hazuki bust herself open. She's got
Yeah.
a cut on her head from from headbutting Starlight Kid, because obviously her mask is full of shit that's going to cut you open a little bit. So she was giving herself CTE and blading for the love of the game. And I was just like, this is insane. This is exactly what you want from Hazuki. She was such a dickhead for the entire match. She was basically back in prime heel Hazuki form. And Starlight Kid, as we all know, you put her back against the wall, you start messing with her mask, it brings out a new form of Starlight Kid. So I thought this was great. This was probably the match of the night. Like this went
Mm,
crazy. Enjoyed
I
so
don't
much about this.
I don't agree with that. I think like the problem I had with the match was just that it felt like it was layered a bit strangely, and the flow was a bit odd. But I like obviously after Hazuki started fucking with the mask, it really like reached a new level and was like a lot of fun, and a very good match from there. But I did feel like it was a bit too like, and I think somebody says on a podcast the other day, it's a bit too like I'll do my stuff, then you do your stuff. There wasn't a lot of like it wasn't like I think the flow until a certain point was a bit bland for a Hazuki match, which is usually like, you know, her strong suit is making a match flow to the point where you like can't take your eyes off of it. I felt like for the first person in that match, she didn't do it super well, and maybe it was a Starlight Kid thing. But everything on the second half of the match and the post match was tremendous. I thought it was super good. Um, I'm excited for them to hopefully run it back. I watched the promos. It doesn't sound like they're actually running it back anytime soon. It sounds like they were both like, "We'll let this lie for now, but one day." I was
See,
like, "That's
Kid
not
wants the
cool."
Wonder Belt, so I think they have to take a brief
Yes,
delay.
but even Hazuki's like, "Well, I doubt we're gonna get paired together anytime soon, but when we do, I'll take your mask again," type of thing. I was like,
Also, Neo Genesis and
"That's
Stars were
strange."
like feuding in the match after. I think that they're gonna feud. I think the two factions are gonna go at it, and
Yeah,
these two are gonna be like a core part of it. So
I
I would
I have a
imagine they'll be
feeling
okay.
we'll see what the tag league teams end up being,
Hmm.
but I could definitely see Starbomb versus FWC in the final,
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
or whoever. I don't know who Kid's team is gonna be if they stick with O2 line. Um, but you know what I mean. I mean,
Yeah, the
technically,
Neo Genesis has 5, and
Kid is the
you'd
odd man
imagine
out.
Crazy Star are gonna team.
Yeah, it's Crazy Star, O2 line,
Well,
or
Kid could be
Starbomb.
one of those weird ones where she gets somebody from a different promotion because that's her
Should
whole
get
thing.
Umasaki.
No,
Not even Karma,
no,
just Umasaki, because
no,
she's a babyface now.
no, no.
Um, it's
Maybe
possible.
Kohaku? Didn't she team with Neo Genesis?
Yeah, it could be Kohaku.
You could do Kohaku and
Kohaku could tag with
Misera, and
any.
they could be
Yeah, I
like
was gonna say
a mid card high speed team, and then
Suzu and Kid,
Zune Kid, yeah,
or
or
Suzu and Miyu, Starbomb.
mm, we'll have to see. I
But
don't
I
know
could
for
I
sure.
could see FWC doing a final against uh Kid and Miscellaneous.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, the post match was like the
That was
important part of
crazy,
this. I
yeah.
felt.
Like Hazuki like cut off her mask with she got scissors and all
Scissors.
to rip it off, and then was parading it around, and people were booing, and she was into it. She was like, "Yeah, boo me, jeer me, I don't give a shit," which is
It's
great.
very. I said it. This is the best heel segment angle that Stardom's done all year. Probably that they've done in like several years. I'm surprised
You
they
really
haven't.
downplay how insane hate
Which one?
forming was.
That was not good. That sucked.
It was
Uh,
insane though. It was
It was
crazy.
insane, but it
And then
wasn't
the first
as
match
effective.
after that, where
I thought it was,
they walked in like the biggest bitches in the world, and were like, "This is our company. Fuck all
and then
y'all."
they had a
That was great.
terrible 5-star 2 days later. Like I
Yeah,
felt like
but
there was. I know, in a vacuum, I get what you're
in a
saying, but
vacuum,
even
it was
so,
cool for 2 minutes. All right, I got it.
yeah, like even so, it never felt like I never got excited. I never was like, oh wow, like this is cool. I was always like, oh, okay, we're doing this. Um,
You said
this
about
I just felt
Oedo
like
Tai for like 3 years now, though. So I don't.
correct. No,
I don't
but
know.
that's my point. Is that this is probably the best heel angle in years at this point in this company, and that's what I was gonna say. Is that it's like I don't know how Taro Okada did this and Rossi never did. Of just having Hazuki be like, yeah, I can be an asshole. I don't care. I am an
Rossi did
asshole.
put her in Oedo Tai initially, so I
No,
feel
but
like
I'm
he did
saying
do it.
since she came back, that's what I meant. That's what I
Well,
meant.
yeah, I guess. I feel like
Is
he
that
lost trust in her though. He retired twice. Like he was like,
yeah,
I'm not
true.
trusting you ever again.
That's true.
I
That's
don't
probably
I don't
true.
know.
But
But this is good.
just
This is
generally, I think it's like a fascinating way to do it. Uh,
yeah.
I do fear because Taro Okada is a messy bitch, as you would say. I do fear that this will lead to something more than it needs to. Because like the thing I looked at, because there are two things that kind of contradict each other. After the match, Hazuki lost, right? She lost to the Momo latch, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, and then they start fighting on the outside, and I was like, oh, this is getting nasty. She throws Barb into the chairs. She pushes Koguma,
Ooh,
like
okay.
she shoves her. I was like, oh no, that's not good.
Hmm.
Because everything else, including the backstage promo where Hazuki straight up says, every time somebody does something that's kind of rude, they think they're going to hate. I hate hate. I just want to be an asshole in stars, and there's nothing you can do
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. I think this is one of
And I
those
love that too. I love
I'm
that
pro
too.
Taro Okada on this one. I think
Yeah,
Hazuki
me
losing
too.
her white belt match and then turning it into this half turn thing is very interesting. Um, this is the kind of shades of gray storytelling people keep telling me exists in other companies, but doesn't.
Yeah,
Because Hazuki is still a babyface, she just really hates Starlight Kid, which is very
I
fun.
came up
Like
I came
I
up with
totally
a
get it.
nickname. I call her the Rogue Star because she's like she's still the star, like but
See,
she's like an asshole. It's great. It's great. Okay, don't stop. Okay,
Mhm.
I can feel your judgment through your silence.
Okay.
Um, but I think this is just a really cool thing to do. I thought this was awesome. And yeah, it was legitimately this might have been like my favorite Taro Okada thing. That's actively a Taro Okada thing that I've seen. Because I was just like, that's awesome. That was an awesome angle. Give me that all the time. I love it. As long as this doesn't result in Hazuki turning, which she said it won't. But if it does, then it's like, oh, it's another swerve, haha. That'll suck. But ultimately, it's kind of impressive that they turned so many people and not the best heel in the company.
Well, yeah. Kid is very obvious about going for the white belt soon. Is this something they're gonna
Mm.
run back for the white belt? Are they that predictable? Are they gonna do a mask versus title match or something? Well, no, because Kid would have both then, wouldn't she? So there would be no
Good.
point.
People have been talking about a mask versus hair match. Hazuki with a shaved head, crazy.
That'd
Or
be
Kid
cool.
without a mask, also crazy.
Mm.
If if Kid is leaving next year,
There's no
and
way.
I don't think she is. She's obviously not. Of anybody who like looked like they might have been, I feel like Kid is the most obviously not leaving.
Yes.
But if she was, and they for some reason gave her the white belt beforehand, uh, them forcing her to lose her mask in like her last Stardom match before dipping would be kind of
That'd be
cringe.
great. That'd be awesome. I don't know. I feel like they might do Kid winning the belt in December, and then whatever their big spring show is, they do a big Hazuki match.
I could see it.
I think that's where we're going. That is, we should keep going because there's a lot of wrestling to
Yeah.
discuss, and
No,
we've
I know.
been doing this for an hour. So our next match was Siri and Lady C beating Suri Ano and Aya Sakura, Mei Sarah and Azumi, and the team of Hanan and Saya Ida. Siri beat Aya Sakura in just under 10 minutes to get the win for her team. This was
I
good,
thought this
like
was
all
good.
action. Yeah, the
Yeah.
only issue is there was nothing to grab hold of. Like none of these people are really in rivalries or feuding or anything. So it was just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's good, good wrestling, but nothing more. They did kind of tease stuff after the match, which I guess is all you can really ask for. Siri Ano showed the belt to Siri, one of the artist belts. So maybe they're gonna do uh, God's Eye and Cosmic Angels or something. And then the Stars and Neo Genesis team were beefing outside. They were throwing hands. So I think that's a full on faction versus faction thing now.
Them putting the two best factions against each other is good and bad because it means you, like I said, you get a good match at least every week, but it also means every other faction has to wrestle each other.
Yeah, but God's Eye and Cosmic Angels could be fun.
Could it?
You're not down to
It could be fun.
Siri
It could be fun. It could be
Natsupoi
fun. It could
minutes,
be fun.
Siri Tam minutes, Siriano.
I don't know if you know this, but there are more God's Eye members than Shuri.
No. But actually, Lady C Natsupoi minutes might go crazy.
No, that's what I mean. I was like maybe because Lady C's cool.
Yeah.
Where the heck is Saki? If she's back,
Rana
then
getting in there with
she's
like
cool.
Ayasaka or
Rana's
something.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm
I think
just
we're onto
looking down
something.
on God's Eye because they're having such a rough time with
Yeah,
the
but
with the
I
hate
think that
stuff.
was a lot of hate. That was just them not
Yeah,
working well with hate, which hopefully is in the past, but who knows?
ideally.
Speaking of hate,
Unfortunately, yeah.
Wonder of Stardom Championship, Natsupoi retains with a Ferial gift in 20 minutes when she beat Tekla. Yeah, this is oh god, I'm burpy. This is boring as all hell. I think Tekla builds her matches around these like one key spot. The tag title defense. It was the Saki Kashima near fall and the revival. Like the entire match built up to that one point. And here, the entire match built up to the one point of Natsupoi not falling for the begging off and getting cheated on, and instead just kicking her in the face and winning. The problem Tekla has though is the other 99% of the match is not interesting enough to justify one key spot. Like this was 20 minutes of nothing, you know.
You
So
know,
I
there's
don't
something
know.
interesting about this match because,
Was
like, I appreciated that Tekla cheated the whole time.
yeah, I
I think
guess yeah.
more heels should do that.
I
However,
don't think she's a bad heel. I just think she needs to get a little bit more interesting with it.
yeah, no, that's the thing is that it's like, well, I think she's a bad heel, but my point is,
Okay.
I think more heels should do that. I mean, like we're going to talk about Chiaki a little bit later, and I like Chiaki's match this past weekend. But the one thing you kind of look at Chiaki and be like, this is not working, is that she has one heel spot, like 3/4 into the match, and that's it.
Mhm.
Like there's some like little bits of heel work, but like you can't. I appreciate that Tekla just cheats the whole time. The problem is she's so bad at cheating and making it look interesting, or making it look intimidating, or making it look good at all, that it just kind of like makes it like it makes the quote unquote bland heel spot that people do when they're not good heels. That's just a whole match for her. You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
guess.
Which is better because it's sewed in, but it's also worse because none of the match is interesting as a result.
Mhm.
So I thought the match was pretty bad. Um, yeah, I didn't like it. I thought Natsupoi did some cool stuff. She did the twisting splash thing, was cool.
Yeah, the spiral tap
Um, yeah,
almost killed her. No,
it was a
some
spiral
some
ferial gift. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
yeah.
Otherwise, stinky poo poo.
Yes. I will also say I think this match was hurt by being on the same card as Hazuki and Starlight Kid, because that kind of did a lot of the stuff this was trying to do, but better. They worked a lot more snug. The emotional resonance was actually there, whereas I don't think there was any
Yeah,
emotional resonance to this match. Because it's so far beyond DDM dying for us to really be invested in this feud, especially with Tekla now being the heel. And
yeah.
you'd rather she's meant to kind of be the sympathetic one, like
Hey,
Natsupoi turned
if
on the
they
faction.
ran this match a month after Natsupoi turn, it would probably have been really good
Yeah, yeah, it would have made
because it
sense.
would have made sense from a story standpoint. It would have Tekla was better then. Uh, Natsupoi's better now, probably. Well, maybe. I don't know. That's That was a good year for Natsupoi. But like I was thinking, everything would have clicked a lot better then than it does now, and I think
Yeah,
now it actively doesn't click, and that's what this match was.
that's fair. Nobody challenged Natsupoi after. They did some promo stuff, but it was, it was whatever. And that was that. We then went on to the IWGP Women's Championship. Mayu Iwatani retained against Timeless Tony Storm in just under 19 minutes with the Fubuki Rana, which is the poison Rana off the rope.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, this we've got into this a million times because it's the combination of seven different moves, so it doesn't have a proper name.
yes,
So people call it the greatest poison Rana ever because
like that
that's the best
setup.
way you could say it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
double jump.
double jump. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a great match. Essentially, at this point, you cannot doubt Mayu Iwatani. I know some people had questions about Tony Storm, but as I've always said about Tony Storm, she is very capable of being dragged to greatness in the same way that like B Priestley used to be able to be dragged to greatness. I don't think B Priestley can
Tony's better than
anymore.
B. That's
She
not
is.
that's
Oh,
not
she
fair.
is. But like back in the day, like Kagetsu,
There
Momo,
were some great B
they could
matches.
drag B Priestley along to greatness. Um,
Even Utami, the last one.
yeah, and Utami, yeah, especially. And Tony Storm has always been in that similar caliber of she isn't great on her own. You put her in there with Jamie Hayter, and she's great, right? Her and Jamie Hayter did have a great match. Put her in there with Mayu Iwatani, that's a great match. And we've seen this match from Mayu. She kind of has the same standard layout for these IWGP
Mhm.
women's title matches, but it works. And she is so good at it
Yeah.
that it's just enjoyable. I thought Tony as well, for her credit, was really good in this. I thought she was bumping her ass off as well. You can see she really wanted to make Mayu look great. Um, yeah, I thought this was a great match. Mayu Utani, best of the best.
Yeah, I was a bit lower on it than some people I saw, but I not like by that much. I thought it was a very, very good match. Ultimately Mayu didn't go into gear 5, so to speak, which is when she kills you, like she did with Shuri. Um, so it's like, and she literally was like, "Oh yeah, I went Super Saiyan in that match. That was crazy. I don't know if I'll ever be able to capture that again." So, in that essence, I don't think she went to devil mode that she can do sometimes. Um, but I don't think it necessarily needed it. I thought that was a very well worked, very fun match. I thought Tony did a great job. And Mayu just had another consistent outing. You know what I mean? Like she's easily a wrestler of the year. There's only a person that can
Yeah,
rival her pretty much. Maybe two, three if you count Danielson. I think it's pretty hard to be better than Mayu Iwatani in the year 2024. So she did well here. I loved the post match. I thought it was a very pretty, a very
yes,
beautiful
yes.
moment, including Mayu breaking the trophy and just staring at it, just like.
The way she glared at the trophy, it was like, why did you break? Why did you break? Like, this is your fault. And also the
I
whole
know she
Cork and
looked
Hall
at the
thing.
trophy like it was unprofessional.
Yes, yeah. She did also call the crowd Cork and Hall at first, and was like, "Oh no, me and Nagoya," this is the full Mayu Utani
Hazuki
experience.
also called Nagoya Osaka earlier in the day, like
Crazy.
in her match, and everybody's like, "What the
Or
fuck?"
Nagoya, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the full Mayu experience. She has a killer match and then breaks the trophy because she just cannot be trusted to do anything but wrestle. And yeah, I thought Tony Storm's promo was really nice. You can tell she has a lot of respect for Mayu. As I said on Twitter, like she's probably one of the people who asked to do stuff like this. She was like, "Hey, I have time off. Can I wrestle around the globe, man? Let me do it." It was very funny. You're not a stupid bitch. You're a good bitch. That was very good. That got a laugh out of me.
It was very Tony. It
Um,
was a very Tony-esque thing.
yes, yeah, she's all in on the gimmick these days. It's very interesting.
I don't hate it as much as I used to. I mean, it was a really bad gimmick to start, but after she started having some
Um,
good matches, I was like, you know
yeah.
what, fine.
I've always thought it has a problem, but those problems are largely tied to
Yes,
American wrestling, and
also true.
you can kind of overlook it here or in CMLL, where she's like, "Yes, I'm wrestling La Catalina because I want to smuggle drugs back across the board. Don't you worry."
Which is crazy.
Yes.
It's a
Very.
crazy thing to say in in this climate.
Um, yeah. Shall we move on to the main event or?
Yes,
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 okay.
I'm ready.
In our main event for the World of Stardom Championship match, Tam Nakano beat Suzuki in 23 minutes on the button with the Twilight Dream. Tam might have found her new wrestling soulmate. This was everything the good part of the Julia matches were, but slightly better. Like her and
Yes.
Suzu just are her and Suzu are perfect because they are the stupid wrestlers who will die for this shit. In the way that all of the best wrestlers are really stupid and are willing to die for this shit, right? Like Bryan Danielson, very stupid man. He will give himself CTE to have the best match possible. Tam
Doesn't know
Nakano,
what that ass
very
means.
does not know what dead ass means. Tam Nakano also does not know what dead ass means. Stupid
Correct.
woman who is willing to die for this. She
Yeah.
took insane bump after insane bump in this match. That is all I ever ask for of Tam Nakano. Just beat people up, let them beat you up, drop them on their head, get dropped on your own head a little bit, and just add in that little intensity that I know Tam can bring, and especially Suzu. Suzu's very good at ramping that intensity up. I think her strikes are filled with a lot of venom. Like even when she's just kicking people, you're like, she is trying to kick them. She is really trying to hurt them.
Well, yeah,
Um,
that was always the thing about Suzu, and I point to the Mirai matches as being just those matches where it's like I feel like wrestling might be real. Like just for like those 5 minutes where they're really going at it, I'm just like, these motherfuckers have got to be hurting each other. Like you can't fake some of this shit. They're just actually hitting each other. This is incredible. And Suzu does that. She does that with a handful of people, and I love that she did do that here, and I'm always happy to see it. Did you have anything further to add, or I'm just gonna go. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I thought this match was very good. I have seen some people like a bit higher on it than me again, but I thought this was like another very, very good match. Um, I think Tam just figured out her main event style. Last year, as everybody knows, I thought she was the most hit or miss top level wrestler that I had seen. Um, 'Cause a lot of top level wrestlers just missed, but I feel like Tam was really hit or miss. She had a good Mariah match, and she had some stinky matches here and there, so it was a bit difficult. I feel like this time around, she's figured it out. It's all clicked. This match, the Micah match, these have been matches that like are exactly what Tam Road is meant to be in a good way. Like it's what it's the final form of her main event style. And I think that's great because I think they've both been a lot of fun. And yeah, I love the table spot. I love that early on the like stare down, the grappling was really well worked. I really liked the match. I thought Suzu really showed up as I was really hoping she would and as I expected her to. Um it's a shame that after the match she kind of sounded like a punk ass bitch. Uh Even though it's weird because what was translated sounded way lamer than what she looked like. So it might have been sarcastic, but like I don't know if it didn't really sound whatever. But yeah, I thought it was a very good match. I put it pretty much on par with the Tony match. Because I thought they were both very, very good. And yeah, I'm happy that Suzu's like back in form. I'm happy that Tam is figuring out how to have a very good main event style match that isn't just melodrama and then going through the motions. Like she's
I
really
said
figured
this
it out with
already.
with this
She
in the
does.
Micah match. She figured it out.
Yeah, I think Tam has taken a lot of the Julia trappings and to hand. I think you think of the Tam white belt run. I think the matches were very different to what we're getting now. I do think she has kept a lot of the stuff that Julia was doing,
Mhm.
and it's really interesting to see how she's worked that in because I think Suzu as well has taken a lot from Julia's kind of main event style. Um, so maybe that's why they worked well together too. They were kind of working off of the same blueprint, so to speak.
Yeah, I could see it. It does feel like she absorbed Julia's powers.
Yes.
Tam more so than Suzu, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean Suzu just needed
That
to
house that
find
that
her
half
way.
Nelson into the chair was or into the table was
Oh, dude.
fucking scary. It could have been a disaster.
Yeah, the one thing I will give credit to Tam for, she is always up for taking some nasty bumps. Like
That
she
is
understands, she gets it.
one main con and one main negative takeaway from this match. Taro Ka's a weirdo. You could have just made this a death match. They were both
Okay.
probably down. They were both probably down. Like I'm sure, and Taro, I'm sure he was down. He loves his dumb shit. So could have made it a death match. Give me Tam versus
Maybe.
Suzu in a death match next year,
Okay,
please and thank you.
sure. Maybe with the KOPW title. Let's get that.
They're gonna make the Queen of Pro
Um,
Wrestling title.
Yes,
we're all gonna
deathmatch only.
fucking we're gonna go insane.
So Stardom has a few shows this weekend. Do they have cards? That is a big question. Let's see.
No.
Because they have sometimes been good about announcing in advance, and sometimes
Yeah, I could have
they
swore
are
they
not.
announced a couple weeks out, but
I think that was just through to
oh,
this show. So yeah, they don't actually have cards for
okay,
these
lovely.
ones. Unless I missed it and it's in the news section. But if it's in the news and not on their schedule, that would be a bit strange.
It would have been in the news like a couple days ago, so I don't think it's.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I imagine they would have updated it by now.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine there's nothing really happening. I mean, these are very much middle of nowhere. It's like Komatsu. What's it?
It's
Well,
Osaka,
Osaka.
Komatsu,
Yeah,
and
Osaka number
Toyama.
2, Komatsu, Toyama. We're probably not getting anything big until New Blood on the 19th, and then Tag League kicks off the week after. So I think those are the two I really look at. So
Damn, we need to get the fucking teams. Because yeah, that
yeah,
shit starts in like a couple weeks.
big double header too. Shinjuku, Korakuen. Wow, Korakuen Day 2. Interesting.
Yeah, just tag league, please.
Um, anything I guess from Stardom because they don't have cards, so that's fine. Marigold.
I'm sure
On to
somebody's
Marigold.
working somewhere. Like, is the Momo match this weekend or is that the weekend after? It
The
doesn't matter.
Momo match with who?
Umasaki. I can't believe you made me bring up Umasaki twice today.
Oh, this is 17th, I think. Although I'm pretty sure I've said the 17th was 5 different shows, so I really
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
why I'm like, are we sure?
Who knows?
I thought it might have been like I need to look at the calendar. I close the calendar and then I need to look at the calendar. I thought it could have been the 13th, but it might not be. So I don't know.
I see. Okay. I hope people realize how lucky they are that I'm here doing this and not watching my beloved NWA Power on X, the platform now known as X. Because yeah, it's on Twitter now. So we're all good wrestling promotions stream WWE Speed and NWA Power
Bro,
available
they're
on
running
Elon
back
Musk's
EO versus Candice LeRae, and I think that's so funny. Like they're doing a 5-minute version of that.
5-minute version.
Like
Yeah.
the one of the best women's matches in recent memory post.
Yeah, but Candice is not very good anymore.
Oh no, not at all. But you know,
That's not her
once
thing.
upon a time, like that's why it's funny. Is that it's like, damn, they're doing a they're running it back. Candice isn't as good anymore, and they're doing it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I feel like the best match of that speed tournament was in the first round. Who was EO against in round 1? It was that.
Oh shit, I watched that. I
I
don't
actually
remember.
can't remember. But because then EO and Naomi was really bad. I don't know. People probably didn't watch it, but it was like really awkward. And
It
I
was
was
great.
at a
I was
point I was
sitting
like,
here.
is Naomi actively sandbagging EO? Like it was that off that I thought they were
She could have
like
been.
shooting. So yeah, it was weird. But anyway, Marigold. Um, in terms of outside of Marigold, Utami has been announced for another independent show, which I find very interesting. She is wrestling. She's known by like 5 different names. It is Sha or Xia or
Yeah,
Char,
shot
the niece of Manami
of
Toyota,
Toyota.
and
I think this
Utami.
is Omukai's promotion. It's not. I don't think she
I
owns it,
don't
but
know.
it's.
I don't think it's the one. I think she's with a different one. Because I
Sure.
know
Because
Umukai was promoting the
Omukai
show.
was.
She's
Yeah.
she's like managing somebody on it, but I don't think she's wrestling on it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's Utami versus Sha. We're never gonna see this. This is a tiny, tiny indie, but I do think it's interesting that Utami is just working these random indie shows now.
Oh, 100%. And like it's just very Utami coded. Like so many people
Yes.
wanted to leave for so many different reasons, but Utami's like, I just want to kind of be like an indie wrestler but get paid still.
Yeah, she's like, I want to go drink with Kaiji Tomato and Venny.
Yeah.
Can you make that happen?
Which I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Seem like cool people.
Anyway, we have no news as far as I can tell from Marigold.
Mask
Nothing that
Fiesta.
will. Yeah. Oh yes, Mask Fiesta is back. One of the most fun Stardom traditions every year. It is happening on the 27th at Shinjuku Face, I believe.
Yes.
So
No,
if they're
Shinkiba,
going from
Shinkiba,
Cork and they're running Cork and then they're running that within a couple of days. So it's an interesting stretch. Mask Fiesta is where if you're new here, everybody wears a costume. They adopt some new mannerisms. I'm pretty sure we got Dark
new
Star or
names.
Dark Azumi one year on it.
No, we got Black Kid. That's what Starlight Kid's first
Yes,
heel gimmick was I am
Black
Black Kid.
Kid. And she was heel, and we all went, "Wow, that's really funny, haha, heel
Yeah,
Starlight
and then
Kid," and then
she was a
then
heel
it
for
was a thing.
fucking years.
Sadly, Kaori Oniyama will not be there because she always wrestled as a pumpkin, and it was really funny.
Yeah,
Oedo Tai also will not be there, but they used to pretend they were rookies again, and that
yeah.
was also very funny. So I can only imagine
Rookie
what the
Ishino,
roster is
yeah.
coming up with. Yeah,
Oh, I
I
mean
think it'll be
they
very fun.
released a picture of Mirai Saku and the Super Rookies in their masks. Yuzuki's mask is just it's just a yellow version of Mayu's old one, more or less. And my Sakurai is Tiger Mask, and I don't know what the fuck Mirai is. That shit would look she looks weird as hell.
I think Mariah's is purposeful. I think it's a throwback to something, but I can't remember, to be
I
honest.
would think she would be Tiger Mask since she trained under the original Tiger Mask. But
Maybe.
no,
Maybe.
everybody else is Tiger Mask and not Mirai.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
But
intrigued
yeah,
by
I'm
that.
super excited for this.
Um, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Now, there were 2 shows this past week from Marigold. The first was on the 5th of October in the Osaka 176 box. They announced 285 fans for the show, and it went up on VOD,
That's
so,
good for
it
the
wasn't
box.
live. Seems like it, yeah. Know whether they're truthful or not, I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. I only watched the main event and the 4-on-1 handicap match from this. I wasn't really interested in the rest, so I don't know if you watched all the
Oh, I
show
watched all
or
of it, obviously.
Oh, really? Okay. You're really into Marigold.
Yes,
Um, so in our opener, Kazuna Tanaka beat 2.5 Dimension Pro Wrestling's Flying Penguin in
this
just
wasn't
under
very good.
9 minutes. Yeah, it has a 3 on cage match, which
It
yeah.
wasn't good. Penguin has a good singing voice.
Oh,
She sang
okay.
herself to the ring, and
That's
she's a good
beast.
singer.
Okay.
The match, the wrestling was pretty mediocre. I feel like Kazuna's really cool when she's against somebody that's cool, but when she's not.
Okay.
Um, and I feel like that was kind of shown on the Korakuen, because when she was in there against Anai, it was tremendous. She's in there against Now, it wasn't. And when Now was in there
Yeah.
against Kazuna, it wasn't. When she was in there against Tommy, it was great. So I think Kazuna's kind of right now, she's still one of the wrestlers who needs to be kind of like lifted up a bit more by a better wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Flying Penguin is not a better wrestler, unfortunately.
No, no, definitely not. Our next one was a 4-on-1 handicap match. Bozilla beat Komomo Minami, Minami Yuki, Myla Grace, and now Ishikawa when she stacked 3 of them on top of each other and pinned them.
I actually
It
love this. I
was
thought this was so fun.
it was fun. I thought the baby faces all came out with their hair done like Myla Grace does.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch. And then I mean they tried to like take Bozilla down. There was the part where Milo was like, "Hey, we're buds. Remember we tag team a lot. You like me?" And then she got thrown over the ropes for her sins. And yeah, I mean, like it's just kind of stupid fun, you know?
Yeah.
Just switch off your brain. You go, haha, big woman throwing everybody around. Woo. That's wrestling for
Yeah.
you. Big
Hell yeah.
people throwing people around. That's all we need.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Um,
thought this match was going to like I almost skipped it, but then I watched it. I was like, that was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
yeah.
So I was
I feel
happy
like
to
just out
watch
of
it.
novelty, I had to watch it. So it's,
Yeah.
Chiaki and Nagisa Nozaki beat Nisa Matsui and Rhea Seto in just under 11 minutes. That sounds pretty not good. What was it like,
No, it was
Dylan?
good. It was
Really?
fine.
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't like I thought it went a bit longer than it needed to.
yeah.
Um, but I thought it was solid. There was some messiness, but like Rhea was just getting back, so like I didn't really mind. And
Mm,
I was happy to see Rhea back. She did well here. She did well in the Gorka as well, as we'll talk about. But yeah, everybody had a fine outing. It wasn't
okay.
anything too, it wasn't anything too outstanding. But it was solid.
That's fair. My Sakurai beat Chikagoto in 9.5 minutes.
This was a tad bit disappointing. Um,
Right, okay.
just because I realized like 2 days beforehand that like my Sakurai is my Sakurai now, and Gochika's cool. So I was like, this should be really good. It should be a pretty solid, pretty good match. And I feel like they just left so much on the table. There wasn't much to it. I mean, it was good. Like it was a solid match, but I didn't think it was anything more than that. Gochika actually didn't do her gimmick, the Achika
Oh,
Kochika Gochika. It was mad eerie because she was just like stone faced. She was ready to fight. I was like, oh, that scared me. I don't like when you don't do that. Um, But yeah, so I thought it could have been better. Could have had higher highs. Just didn't really hit that, but it wasn't. It wasn't anything to you know cry about. It was pretty good.
Okay, that's fair enough. The main event then, Koki Amare, Miku Aono, and Matsumi Shozuki wrestled to a 30-minute time limit draw with Mirai, Utami Hayashishita, and Victoria Suzuki. Look, I can see why they would do that draw. I don't think you need to do a 30-minute TLD to say the least, but they did it.
My
And
hot take is this would have been one of the best house show tags if it was in Shinjuku phase. Like
and
I think
if it had an ending, like that
well
was
even if it went 30, I think it would have been I think the flow as I texted you, the first like 26 minutes were great and very quick and just like it didn't feel like it was like it didn't feel like it was going on forever and ever. And then they did one last segment and I was like, okay, now I feel the time. You know, once they got in Yuzuki and Shizuki, I was like, okay, now this is taking a while. Like now I'm looking at my watch a
yeah.
little bit.
It really peaked with Koki and Mirai, and then
Yes.
went to Yuzuki and Shizuki, who were not as beast. Um, so I think it could have been a good match, but 30 minutes was just too long. And also the crowd was not like super into it, so you know it was good, but definitely should have been shorter. Um, I don't know why you do these draws. Like just have a winner, please, Rossi. Because they did the same with Yuzuki the next day, and you're just like, what are we doing here? Like, just either do something or don't. You know.
See, I
Um,
don't. I've given up on
especially in the world where
caring about
Tara
draws.
Okada just does stuff. It's kind of like
Without
you could just
Julia
do what
around,
he does. You know. It's
without
like
Julia around, I'm cool with draws.
I think they're
Julia
fine, but
easily one of the worst draw wrestlers of all time, and she drew all the fucking time. Like that was
yeah.
that was what was the problem.
You know,
Um,
I've said this for a long time about the Ross man, the Hat man. Is he really uses these draws as a crutch instead of just something that happens. He's like, oh, I want to book something, but I don't know how to do it, and he just goes, well, draw, okay, and it's just a little bit eye rolly sometimes.
I don't really mind it, especially not in an instance like this because I felt like this was like there was like a it was meant to be this more than anything. Like it wasn't like I don't know. I get annoyed when it's just like why is a random tag with two people that can get pinned go into a draw? Like why did
Yeah, but this is one
Nozaki and
of
Mai
those. Like
Sakurai tag?
Yuzuki's right there
She's challenging for a belt the next day. She can't just lose.
for a super flyweight belt. I'm pretty sure she can lose to the flyweight
I
champion.
don't think again in this specific instance. I think that you should have kept her strong, and you
Or
didn't.
your ace is Utami. Just have Utami pin Suzuki. Your
That
tournament winner, inevitable
I mean
world champion. Just
that's
pin
more
Suzuki.
realistic. I mean, but I get why not wanting to do that because Shizuki's in one of the only title matches the next day.
And don't book the match.
See,
Anyway, never mind. Never
I don't
mind.
think it's that
Never
big a deal.
mind. Never mind. Okay. And the next show was on the 7th of October. That was yesterday, and this was in Cork and Hall. It was Marigold Fantastic Adventure 2024. They announced an attendance of 623 fans, which is not great. Cannot lie to you. That is not good.
I could have sworn it was at
Probably
least
want to get
it
higher.
was at least 1,100.
Okay. I know what you're
I
doing.
counted.
Okay. Well, Rossi disagrees. So we opened the show with Rei Seto and
He's
Komomo.
he's trying to bail on his taxes. That's what's happening. Oh, I'm going.
Damn right. Komomo Minami. No. Rei Seto and Rei Seto and Komomo Minami beat
Yes.
Yuki Minami and Mila Grace when Rei Seto got the win for her team, which was an interesting move. This was a pretty good tag match given
Yeah.
everybody that was in it. I thought I had a moment during this where I was like, Mila Grace is like kind of good now. I
Yeah.
think
No,
she's
I
really
agree.
got there.
Milo has figured it out 100%.
Very good. Yuki Minami is very much the weakest link, but then she'll also do something really based randomly out of nowhere, and I'm just like, I have no read on you whatsoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
thought everybody
love
did well.
Rei. Oh, she did great here. She was full piss and vinegar, just being an asshole.
I
She's in
think
the
she's fun.
pose while trying to break homegirl's arm. It was awesome. I thought I
Um,
thought I thought this match was very good. I was like, damn, they kind of cooked. I
yeah,
didn't expect that.
just for three rookies and a foreign wrestler just kind of going out there doing their best, and
Yeah,
stuff. Rhea winning is interesting. I don't know. She maybe gonna
they
challenge
like her
Shozuki. Wasn't she named when Shozuki was like, "Oh, I have challengers in mind," and I think she said Rhea, but I can't remember.
potentially. I'm not sure.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. They
How
really
much
don't
does this
like
go
Tomoe
away?
Manami. She's just kind of there, isn't she? It's weird. Like she followed them from Stardom, and they just kind of shoved her into the back seat, and it's
Yeah,
very
but
interesting.
I get it. Cause she,
Kind
cause
of,
she
yeah.
was she
Mm,
retired before she ever started wrestling, and then she was like, "Oh, you're starting something up new. I got you.
Did she
I'm ready to
retire, or
wrestle
was
again."
she told that Rossi was going to break away and went, "All right, I'll chillax."
Both are possible.
I don't know. It's just
But
strange.
apparently,
I
she
thought there would
stopped
be some time.
training pretty early. Like it's not like
Oh,
she stopped training in December. Like I think she stopped training like September last year.
well, who knows? Honestly, I'm not sure. We then had a Dream Star special. Misa Matsui beat Chiaki in 7.5 minutes, and again, I thought this was a good match.
I
When they do
really
like
like
the
this.
yeah, when they do like the high speed influence stuff with Chiaki, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I see it here. And obviously, Misa Matsui is good at like everything. So yeah, I thought they did well here. They clearly know each other very well, and there's that kind of built-in chemistry. So I thought this was a fun match. Another fun match.
I think both singles matches on this were active upgrades to the 5-star matches that they mirrored.
Five star.
Um,
5-star
Dream
matches,
Star.
Dylan?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
yeah, they were all 5 stars, but no,
Traitor.
in the Dream Star. But I thought this match was an active upgrade on their match in the Dream Star because I thought this was just really well done. Like you said, Chiaki wrestles a bit of a faster pace, which I think works. She's kind of a natural with it. Um, I talked about I kind of like used her as an example of like bad heel work. But I thought her heel work in this was very good. I liked that like she was getting beat up. She sold to the outside, used the chair just to kind of have like a momentum shift instead of making it like basing the entire second half of the match around it. I think that's a better thing for her is just to kind of like be quick with it than to make it like a whole thing. I thought that worked really well here, and yeah, I thought Misa looked really good, which she had a bit of a bumpy Dream Star, so I was happy to see her really just like look locked in here. And yeah, I thought this match was pretty awesome. I thought the start was awesome too, where Misa just dragged her to the outside and they were fighting right off the bat. Um, really like this. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
All right. After the match, Naho Yamada confronted Misa Matsui and asked to wrestle Misa for her debut match. They didn't really say it outright, but it's basically confirmed for October 24th at Korakuen Hall. These two were in a faction together in Actress Girls, so again, there is
What
that
do y'all know about Teppen?
familiarity. Oh yeah, throwing up.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know anything about Teppen except for the throw it up. Yeah.
throwing up. But yeah, there's built-in chemistry there, so I'd imagine they'll do well. I think that's somebody who can bring the best out of Naho in her debut. Is obviously somebody like Misa who knows her like that. So I am interested to see that. I don't know what Naho is going to be in Marigold, so I'm really interested to see that debut because, as I said, she's a very like she seems like a real gimmick. She's very
Mhm.
charismatic, very personable. I can't just picture her being a normal wrestler. I feel like she's going to have something attached to make her stand out. So I'm really intrigued by her. Um,
Yes, am I.
then we had Utami Hayashishita and Kazuna Tanaka beating Nanai Takahashi and Now Ishikawa in 14 minutes, with Utami pinned Now with the German suplex in 14 minutes. Yeah, you kind of touched on this earlier. Like three of the pairings were very good, and then one of them was not. And it was like Utami and Now I thought worked really well together. There was one near fall that Now got on Utami where I was like, just have her win, just let her win. I am
Yeah.
ready. The crowd was ready. Everybody was ready. It was really well done. Obviously, Nanai and Utami got in there for a little bit, and I was feeling the passion, feeling the spirit. And Nanai and Kazuna were doing some stuff. And then yeah, Kazuna and Now would get in, and it was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I thought Utami and Nanai were really able to bring this one up alongside Now Ishikawa. I thought it was just a lot of good wrestling between them. So I thought it was good. It was a good tag match.
I love the start of Kazuna just stepping to Nanai and bitch slapping her. Like, oh, that was
Yes,
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, and then Utami's just the best. I feel like Nanami, the wrestler. I feel like Utami is like entering that best wrestler of the year conversation for me because like
If
she's
she
just
wrestled
been
more
great all the
for the
time.
first couple of
Yeah.
months, yeah. But like
See,
she's
but the
insane.
thing is, she had a good tag. She had good tag matches with Saya.
Yeah, I do remember those. Yeah,
That was
but
what she was doing earlier in the
I
year,
don't know.
and then
Early,
she
like
had the
the
Io
gap
match.
to
Yeah,
Marigold.
no, I do think that gap was. I get what you mean. But even then, she had the best going away match in Stardom. Um, with the tag match against Mike
The
and Saya
exhibition.
and the exhibition. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Remember when Saya was good? But so I thought that this. I think
I'm gonna let
Utami's
that
just like
slide.
really.
I'm gonna let you slide with that
Yeah,
one
as you
because
should.
we're talking about the fun Marigold, but you get one chance.
One opportunity. No, okay. Utami just rules. Like I think that's just where I'm at. Utami 9 minutes were awesome. Utami now minutes were awesome. I thought this was dope. You know, I thought it was another really good match, and I think Utami, as always, gets the most out of someone. And in this case, it was now in the closing stretch.
hmm
I really like
Now
that.
should have just beat Utami though. Go on.
Now has not won yet, so
Yeah,
that would have
but
been really
this should have
awesome,
been it.
actually.
She actually should have beat Utami and then challenged her for her right to challenge contract, and then Utami should have
And then Utami
pasted
comes
her
out
into
with the
the
money in the
ground.
bank.
Yes,
Um,
and then Utami can paste her into the ground at the Korakuen. The thing for.
Actually, the right to challenge contract was consumed by the Rose, and she gives it away every match.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
So all
Okay.
those women in the crowd are going to fight Saori, and they're all going to lose at first string.
For things. After the match, anyway, we had a Nanai very unhappy with Nao Ishikawa, and
They sold this before the match as well. Stu said, "Oh, did you notice that Now tried to give her a fist bump or high five or something?" And I just said, "Fuck you," basically. And like they sold this for most of the match that like Nanai needs to see more out of Now because basically the story
yeah,
is that
no.
Nanai was like, "Why aren't you literally the most angry person ever for not making it to the Dream Star? You
Oh,
should be trying to
interesting.
kill
Okay.
people. Why are
Hmm,
you smiling right now? You need to stop and look at what you're doing." So yeah,
that's
that
great,
was the story
honestly.
going into this, and then they followed through with it.
Yeah, and now Ishikawa wanted a singles match, and they set that up for the October 24th Korakuen, which is looking like a really good show. I
Yeah.
cannot lie to you.
I will also say, as a very novice Japanese learner, I appreciated that Now was like crying, and she goes, "Nanai-san, Nanai," and then just like no honorifics, no nothing. It's just like, "I'm gonna kill you." I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like she getting real with it. Um,
Oh,
I thought
yeah,
that was really cool.
that match is gonna be so good. That could be crazy. And now might win. Like I think now should win probably. I know he just said it about Tommy, ironically, but her beating Nanai would be pretty insane.
I feel like we probably need to end the losing streak thing pretty soon so that we
Yeah,
can like move on with Now because she's
definitely.
good.
Um, we then had a super flyweight championship match. Natsumi Suzuki and Victoria Yuzuki wrestled to a 15-minute time limit draw in the first defense for Suzuki. Um, yeah, interesting choice. I will give them that. I thought it was a good match, maybe
I
hampered by
adored
going
this
15
match.
minutes. Really,
This is like
that's
one of my
interesting.
favorite matches of the weekend. Like
Wow,
that was fucking tremendous.
that's crazy.
I think this was the best Suzuki match ever.
He was good in
To
it, I
this
will
point,
say. Victoria Yuzuki has really turned it around.
I felt like what they were doing was just like really cool shit. Yuzuki did a tornado from the fucking second rope to the floor, just for fun, like out of nowhere early on. And then Shizuki got up and did a fucking Meteora from the top to the floor. The thought, like, okay. And I just thought from there, it was just constant fun stuff. I appreciate, I think it didn't work in their first singles match, but I appreciated it in the draw, the trios draw, and I appreciate it here that like I feel like they figured out how to do like this like uncooperativeness and make it work because that's just kind of how they mesh is that they don't like they just kind of like clash very easily and they're never on the same page, which is an interesting way to run a high speed match. I know it's a super fly, but it's effectively a high speed match. And I appreciate that because it felt very different in that way. Um, Yuzuki was just pulling shit out of the hat, and I thought it was awesome. She did a far leg lift backdrop driver. Why didn't she win with that? She fucking killed her. Like, she could have just won. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was shocked it was a time limit drop. I didn't think it was hampered by it whatsoever. I thought they worked it super well. And again, they also told that story that it's like these title matches are 30 minutes. But Yuzuki said, "Oh, I can beat you in 15. Lower the time limit." So they lowered the time limit and Yuzuki couldn't do it. So I think in that sense, it made like I understood why they went with time limit draw. I know I'm defending a lot of time limit draws here, but I think this one's a lot more defendable and a lot more understandable because the story was that Yuzuki was like, "Oh, I can beat you in no time. I could beat you in 15 minutes. Just lower the time limit. I don't care. I'll do it." And she was proven wrong. So I thought that was really cool. I just thought this match was awesome.
That's fair. I was kind of annoyed by the result. Not as much as most people, but it was one of those of like, don't I don't like your V1 being a draw for your like new belt in
Yeah.
Shozuki.
Well,
And I was
Xena,
kind of like, you can just have somebody win.
that did just happen.
Did I guess?
Almost
But
1-for-1 because Miss Sarah, it was V1. It was in Corkin Hall. It was
then
high speed.
Yuzuki challenged at the end of the show, so I was like, I guess, I guess. But yeah, it's one of those again. Rossi's leaning on the draw as a crutch, and I'm just kind of like, all right, you gotta have another idea. Um, but that is what it is. After the match, we had the fun. A mysterious masked woman known as Hummingbird did like a little flip over the top rope, and then Rob Van Dam jumped up to the top rope and sat there as she cut her promo and challenged Natsumi Shozuki. What followed?
Someone in the crowd heckled and said, like, "Who are you?" It was very
Yeah.
funny. Just a singular
Um,
guy.
what followed was a brief panic when everybody was like, "Oh, that is Rhythm from JTO," and I went, "Please, for the
It
love of
it
God,
was never Rhythm
it
in
was
from J.
never
Like,
Rhythm," but people were
you
saying it was.
have people watched Rhythm?
No.
She doesn't physically move like that.
No, that was why I was like, that cannot be Rhythm. She's as technical wrestling gets. She
She
ain't she ain't
I don't
doing
think
this.
she could jump that high. Like, that's just not how that
No.
works.
So there was a brief panic when people were like, "Oh, it's Rhythm," and I just went, "Please no."
See, I
But
watched this next
then
day while I was working, and I saw you text, "Who's Hummingbird?" I was like, "I don't even know who the fuck Hummingbird is." I need to turn my phone off.
yeah.
And then I realized people were scared it was Rhythm. I was like, "That's not."
Now the thing is, Hummingbird has an ID number. I think it's 52, which
Yes.
indicates this is a roster member. And
Yes.
former Catmask Calico finishes up a play the day before this Korakuen. Therefore, this is the former Catmask Calico,
Sonny
now
also
known
said
as
this is
Hummingbird.
a roster member. So,
Yeah,
like,
so it,
and
it can't be
Rhythm has
Rhythm.
a GTO show this
Yeah,
weekend.
she didn't leave JTO, so it couldn't be her. And the dates line up just a little bit too exact. Like former Cat Mask is finishing up her theatrical commitments the day
She's also
before
got
she challenges.
colored contacts, which was always a cat mask thing.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
And also
yeah.
she does move like this. She is very graceful.
Yes.
So
Correct.
I think this is cool. I think
As do I.
as much as Cat Mask is a more interesting gimmick, I think the Hummingbird works for a Superfly belt, and she clearly likes being masked. I think there was a
It's
picture
also
from
different.
Julia's barbecue, and she was wearing a mask then, so she must not like her face being associated with the wrestling. We do see her face. She is an actress who does plays, but she must not want it shown in a
To be fair,
wrestling setting.
if I was ever a wrestler, I always wanted to wear a mask, and it's not because
That's
I
fair.
don't. People know my face, like people see my face. I always thought it was cool. I do think that Hummingbird is different. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of
Mhm.
cats and a lot of
True.
tigers, and
So her
like
and
I think
Natsumi Suzuki is just a good match. Like that's gonna be really good.
yes, and I love that Shizuki was like, "Who are you?" And then she's like, "I'm Hummingbird," and she's like, "Yeah, okay." You do you weigh under 55? And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh," she's like, "Okay."
I'm a
And she just kind of
hummingbird, of
looks at
course.
she kind of looks her up and down like, "I think I know you," which you do. You've wrestled her before. So I kind of liked that aspect of it, of just her kind of like looking at her like, "Hmm, you're familiar." Like I appreciate that aspect of it, knowing that it is a mask.
About this Korkan, and this is when Rossi is really good sometimes, is things just kind of flow really well.
Mm.
Like he seamlessly set up a bunch of matches for the next Korakuen in what 2 or 3 weeks time. Like that is simple, enjoyable pro wrestling. That is all I ever ask of anyone. So yeah, we've got Hummingbird and Shozuki, which I have high hopes for. I really liked Cat Mask in Actress Girls. A lot of people really liked Cat Mask, so I think she will be a really good addition to this roster, which is looking really full. Like I know people were speculating about who's going to jump in 2025. I don't know if we have room for a lot of people. Like there's still 4 trainees. They've just put out a post looking for more trainees.
Wait, no, there's not 4 trainees still. I think there's only like 2, if even.
There's Seri, there's Shino, there's Bulldozer, and there's the
Is
the 2
Bulldozer?
Gravure girls. It's 5.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about well, because they're hurt. Like Tachibana like broke her ribs or something, or her leg, or she broke something like bad, so she's out for a while. So yeah, there actually are a lot of trainees now. Come to think of it, and they are recruiting more. I think there's room for a couple people, but it is filling up quickly.
I don't know. I don't know if there's room for many more. Unless there's people retiring next year, which I don't know. Maybe Nanai is going to call it a day.
I also think there's room for like stars. I think that's the problem is that like, and clearly we're seeing it with the attendance.
Not the faction stars, but actual stars.
Well, both. But I think that's the thing is that it's like as much as I love and Rossi loves making stars, I think having people that like will bring fans to the
Yeah.
company is what he kind of needs. So having people like members of stars, if any of them end up jumping, that will bring a certain amount of people to the shows and to Marigold more. You know what I mean? Like people with like I think the roster could use a couple more popular wrestlers is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I guess if push came to shove, he can phase out Nozaki if she doesn't sign. Sari, obviously that's a worst case scenario, but maybe she goes part time. He could just
She already is
bring in
part
less
time.
foreign
It's
wrestlers.
definitely possible that once Sari like drops the belt, she's just like kind of like a every couple months comes in type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then I mean, Bozilla, obviously, I imagine will finish up soon. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they're really building out the roster very quickly, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be this huge thing that some people were expecting next year. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Speaking of at least 3 of the people I just mentioned, in our next match, Bozilla and Nagisa Nozaki beat Sari and Miku Iono. Nagisa Nozaki got the win for her team with the Lancer, the Dark Lancer, maybe, and she
Yes.
pinned Miku Iono.
Or like
Um,
it's the Noir Lancer. That's what it is.
yeah, okay, I wasn't sure if that was a weird translation or if that was true, but yeah, Noir Lancer. Um, yeah, so Nozaki challenged Ano for the title after the match, and Mozilla also challenged Sari. They haven't said when those are, but I assume they are the
I think they're
24th.
both.
At
Yeah,
least one
they
of
can
them,
both
and
be
they
working.
might do Nozaki. I don't know on a different show, but I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I'll
because
just was
the next tag title challenge isn't on that show,
that's fair. Yeah.
so I think
Wait,
they'll
really?
probably do both.
Where is it?
Mirai said that Victoria Azuki ain't ready because she just didn't win a title match today, so Mirai will decide when the two are ready to.
That's
She
really
basically
funny.
said it's going to be on my terms. I wouldn't be surprised if they put it in. Where is she from? Iwate. I wouldn't be surprised if
Iwate.
she was just like,
Okay.
I want home field
Are they
advantage.
running
Fuck you.
Osaka soon? They like to put big stuff on Osaka.
I
We'll
don't
see.
think.
I don't
Well,
know. I don't know their
the
schedule.
box, no, because they just did.
No, Osaka Edion.
They don't. Oh yeah, they do those. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Those where they
Yeah,
opened
they
the,
did.
the tournament.
Yeah.
And they did my and
Oh, we'll
Sari
see.
there one time.
But
So
so
yeah,
yeah,
I don't
that
know.
the tag team match isn't happening at the Korakuen, so
Okay.
you have room for 3 title matches.
On this tag match though, I thought this was
Yes,
great. I loved
very good.
this. I thought again, Sari against Bozilla is one of the most fascinating things. She is just so out of her depth, and it is really fun to see. I thought people were slandering Nozaki to me again, and I was like, "You guys just don't get it." And then she turned it
She's
on.
awesome.
She was so good in this with Miko Iono. Her and Iono just instantly clicked. I thought Iono and Bozilla for a little bit was really good there as well. Like all of these wrestlers are really talented, and they just went out there and had a really cool match.
Nozaki and
Um,
Sari previewed their singles title match
they
at the end of the year.
did. They were killing each
It
other.
was
They were
good.
full. They were putting the seedling into some Marigold
Yeah.
here. It was really well done. Yeah, this was just great. Like they just killed each other. It was awesome.
I thought it was really cool. I just thought that like Xavier asked me yesterday what matches from the show I should watch, and I was like, you could watch all of them. Like that's my take. I thought the show was just like a very consistent, very good. You know what I mean? Like pretty much every match was at least quite good. Even the opener, which I expected to be kind of mediocre, was good. And this is just another one. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I love the Bozilla Nozaki pairing. I always have like the Dark Wolf Army pairing type of thing. Um, I think they work super well together. And Sari's sick. I thought Miku and Nozaki, like you said, is really cool. I'm excited for that match. Um, I'm happy Nozaki got the win. I feel like, when you give Nozaki something to like sink her teeth into, I think she's sick. Um, and I'm happy about what we're doing right now. Her being a V2 works very well, in my opinion. So yeah, I really like this match. I love that after the match, Bozo went, Nozaki-sama, that's your belt. You could take it. I'll let you have it. I want this bitch's belt.
Mm.
I thought that was so cool. Like I was like making a character out of Bozilla where she's like not just like this thing to work around as a character, and making her be like, Nozaki's the only motherfucker I like. I think that's really cool and really funny. I'm sure Chiaki and her will get on good terms again. But yeah, I just really like this match. I thought that all of the character worked really well, and Saori's gonna face her Andre the Giant. I'm excited for that.
All right, yeah, she was making that comp to the Tokyo Sports. Yeah, Scott
I love
mentioned it.
that
She
every I
was,
love that every Saori thing is like, well, I'm like Inoki and I do this. Um,
which is
that's
crazy
really
because I
cool.
don't think she wrestles like him at all. Like he
No,
was the shoot Packers days. Are you okay?
I no, I
What
nothing.
happened?
I saw something on Twitter real quick.
Oh, I
Um,
see. Okay.
but yeah, no, she's not like Inoki at all. But it is funny that like she's doing what Nakajima tried to do, but she isn't getting the cease and desist because she's cool.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, oh my goodness, what happened here? Oh, it opened the
Oh, and
tweet on me.
they didn't have Nozaki's music queued up, so she won
Oh,
and
that
just
was
sat
so
there.
fun. There was awkward
I was just like,
silence.
"Are you guys serious?
Yeah,
This is happening right now?"
that was so
Nozaki
fun.
also tried to hug Bozilla, and Bozilla was like, "I don't hug people," so she just grabbed her hand and like threw her hand up. It was like, "We win!" Nozaki's like, "I just wanted a hug, man."
Mozilla is so committed to the bit. I love her.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
I
great.
know she's eventually gonna go to America and get signed, but she is one of the few people who might make it work.
Yeah, I just feel like she's just really fun. Like
Yeah,
she's
her and Nia Jax is my new dream match.
hmm.
I think. Well, I don't know. I don't think Nia Jax works well with other hosses. I'm not sure. It'd only be Bailey. Um, we'll have
You're
to see.
waiting for that Reina Gonzalez
Oh,
versus
dude,
Jax match.
Bailey and fucking Bozilla. Oh my god, dude,
That would be
get
sick.
her on SmackDown right now. Get her on SmackDown yesterday. Um,
Wait,
anyway,
that's not her name anymore.
what? Oh yeah, Raquel
I
Rodriguez.
said Reina Gonzalez.
You know what though? Raquel Rodriguez, I think, is good. She's just a
Oh
victim
Jesus,
of like
this is crazy. This is
no,
crazy. How?
no. Bear with me. Bear with me. She's like a victim of the like, weird cycle women's wrestling is in WWE now because they clearly really like her and want to protect her, but
Mhm.
they don't ever want to push her because she's not one of the four horsewomen or the chosen two. So it's kind of like they like put her in all these weird situations, and she always does really well, and then has to go off TV for 6 months because they don't have anything for her. And I'm like, she could probably do really well in Rhea Ripley's spot as like the big ad of the division, but they just never get behind her like that.
See,
So it's
I feel
weird.
like she plateaued at a place that was like way too
But is that because she
not good.
knows they're constantly like shortchanging her? Like, is she just not motivated? Would you be motivated if they
That's
were like, we really like you, but you're not Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley, so you can
to be
sit
fair.
over there?
I think you could say that about pretty much 90% of the roster
That's true, but
in
I think it's
WWE.
especially true for Raquel because she has those moments where you're like, you could be a really good powerhouse, you know that, and then but then she just doesn't. But if her and Rhea Ripley is bad, then I will lose all faith. Um, but
I know
anyway,
they were tag partners for like 7 years in developmental. They
that's true.
should be good.
In the main event of the Marigold show, the Twin Star Championships are on the line. Mirai and Mai Sakurai retained against Koki and Chika in just under 18 minutes when Mirai lariated the shit out of Koki. Mirai and Sakurai had some new team gear, which was very nice. Mirai had the blue and white, and my Sakurai went with a pink
They
and
have
white.
like it's like magical girl, like kind of Yuka. It reminds me of Yuka's
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
gear, like just like the it's like baggy, but like it's like silk. It looks kind of odd,
These
but
weird
I like it.
sneakers too. They're not wrestling
Yeah.
boots, but they are sneakers. And Mirai's or my Sakurais are really bad because they're just these like black sneakers on a very
Oh
colorful
yeah.
outfit.
Uh, I'm sure Velke told you this. That Spike girl wears Doc Martens with kick pads to wrestle, and it's
It's
like
insane.
it's so wild. It's the coolest thing ever. But yeah, their gear a bit strange. Koki's
Mm.
gear
Oh,
an
dude,
upgrade,
incredible. She was stunting.
but also weird. Um,
Yes.
Xavi actually texted me again. This is the third Xavi mention of the day. Xavi texted me and said, "Man, she needs to stop letting her her little cousin design her gear." And I was like, "Actually, she does it herself." And he's like, "That chick is not Bianca Belair. She needs to calm down." Um, but yeah, I thought it was also interesting gear, and I thought the match was very good. I enjoyed it. Uh,
That's fair.
I think especially it sucks how good Koki's gotten so quickly.
Yes, yeah. I do every time she gets in there with Mirai, it's just it clicks. And obviously my Sakurai and Chica are like very good for their end.
Mm.
So I thought it was a great tag match. I thought like even the teamwork was really good. Like the 2-on-2 segments, when they would split off, they would do really well. I thought Chica and Koki were also believable. You know, I watched this as it happened, so I was like, they could win, like realistically. Um, and then obviously when Mirai put Koki down, I was like, yeah, that's it. She just lariated the shit out of this woman. So yeah, this is probably tied for the best match. Like I just really enjoyed it.
I have it a step below the Superfly belt, but it was better than the rest. I thought it was very very good. Cause yeah, I like I said, I love that Koki tried to do the big swing. She couldn't really get it
Yeah.
going, but I respect her attempt. That was really funny. Um, yeah, I felt like the first half had a bit of growing pains here and there, but the second half clicked on all cylinders. Like I said, the reason why it's frustrating that Koki's getting so good so quickly is that like, a month ago when she said, "Yeah, I want to go work in America soon." I don't think she's gonna get signed anytime soon. When she said that, I was like, "Okay, that's fine. You're not like that great anyway." Now she's like just really fucking good, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad when she fucking dips in 3 years." Cause yeah, she has gotten it and she's been running with it. I've loved her work. Mirai is still just like one of the most underrated wrestlers in the world. Like I feel like she's just constantly at it. You know what I mean? She's just constantly great.
He's
Uh,
another one who's like really improved with the jump to Marigold. I don't know what it is about
yes.
going to Marigold, but like her, Utami, Mai, they've all really stepped up their game. They've left a lot of the weaker elements at home. Like Julia was the only one who didn't markedly improve.
To be fair, historically, that's kind of like how it works. Because a lot of the girls that jumped to Arjan were like way better versions of themselves in Arjan. Because they were just like, oh, I could
Mm,
just do
mm.
like my shit. I mean, except for like Rhea Tamada, who, mm, um, she still stayed in AJW. Uh, but yeah, I just thought that Mirai did super well here. Koki did super well here. Again, not as crazy about the Chikagoto my Sakurai pairing, but I thought they did good enough that I thought this match overall was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. Also, Mirai left arm lariat and then sitting on fucking Koki's face to get the win. I was like, she's insane. She's just the most
She's a
disrespectful.
beast.
Like she's supposed to be a hero. Like that's like her gimmick is like she wants to be like she wants to be like a hero to the fans, to the kids and whatnot. And then she's just like the meanest person alive. It's awesome. Like sometimes she just stunts on them hoes. It's awesome. Love Mariah.
I
I'm a
wish
clapper. Any
Marigold would
clappers out
tweet
there?
less. Flappers, I remember that.
Any clappers? Shouts
I
out to
wish
clappers.
Marigold would tweet less because I saw one of the wrestlers post 3 match graphics for the next show, but like I cannot find the other match graphics on the
Mhm.
actual company's account. It is only that one wrestler who has posted some graphics. And I'm sure Marigold has posted the card for the show on the 12th somewhere. But obviously there's been 2 shows since then, so they've tweeted nonstop about those 2 shows. So I'm gonna need Marigold to get a functioning website soon. That's maybe
Yeah.
my one big gripe with Marigold. It is impossible to know what's happening unless you're willing to doom scroll their Twitter for like 2 hours. And
Especially
just
because they also don't have like subtitles or anything.
no.
At least give me a written down like what happened or what is happening next. Uh, that I do think a lot of my problems with Marigold are logistical like that. You know what I mean? Um, so they don't come up very often. Like it sounds like I'm just a dick writer, but most of my issues with Marigold are just very logistical things. Get a working fucking website. Tweet what
Mhm.
these wrestlers are saying sometimes. Just give me more information so I can consume this product the way I like to consume my wrestling, which is with the full understanding of what's going on.
You are cooking. Now I have found it. They posted these 5 days ago, 5 full days. Um, and they are running on the 12th, 13th, and 14th, which I didn't realize. So on the 12th, this is going to take ages to load now because I've after opening 10 tabs, but y'all can bear with me. So the Korkauen was good. We enjoyed the Korkauen.
Yes, very good.
On the 12th of October, they are running the Kyoto KBS Hall. They are running Mirai and Mai Sakurai versus Chiaki and Bozilla on that one.
Oh, I
That'll be
like
very
that.
fun. They are also doing Koki and Chikagoto versus Nanai Takahashi and Kazuna Tanaka, which is probably Kazuna taking a
Like that too.
loss.
Yeah, she is.
Also on the 12th, Utami Hayashishita versus Nao Ishikawa. Hell yeah. That is
Yeah,
going to go crazy,
see,
especially
you know
after
how I
the
just said
TV
you know how I
change.
just said I'm not a Margot dick rider? I'm back. I'm back.
That's fair. They're running a super flyweight 3-way match: Natsumi Suzuki versus Misa Matsui versus Victoria Yuzuki.
Not for the
That
belt,
is not
just
not for the belt,
for fun.
just for funsies, bragging rights. They are doing Miko Aono versus Rhea Seto and Komomo Minami versus Myla Grace to kick us off.
Mm.
Is Yuki Minami injured or is she not a full-time wrestler?
I
Have I
think
just
she
never
just might
noticed?
be off. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
okay.
she's not on every show.
Okay. Now on the 13th, then they are in Act City Hamamatsu. We've got Miko Aono, Natsumi Suzuki, and Koki versus Utami Hayashishita, Mirai, and Nanai Takahashi. And that might go 30. They might do another 30.
Oh, is that the main event?
Yes, I assume so.
Maybe. Well, yeah,
They're
that might be fun.
also running Mai Sakurai versus Nao Ishikawa, which will obviously be a Mai Sakurai win.
Could be fun.
These are all on VOD, obviously as well. They're not airing
Yeah,
live in
but
Hamamatsu.
they usually because of high demand, they get the VODs up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think they've already said when they're going up. They're all within a day or so. But also on this October 13th show, Misa Matsui and Rhea Seto versus Victoria Yuzuki and Kazuna Tanaka. That's probably a win for the tag
Super
challengers.
Rooks. Yeah.
Chika Goto takes on Bozilla. Oh, has somebody told Xavier that they're running this? Does he know? Somebody
I
let
don't think
Xavier
so.
know.
I'll have to tell him.
All right. We also have Minami Komomo versus Chiaki versus Myla Grace, which is, it's all right. The 14th, then we have Marigold in Shibuya. The main event is Miko Aono, Koki, and Chikagoto versus Bozilla, Nagisa Nozaki, and Chiaki. Dark Wolf Army in full force.
Fuck yeah! Wait, who are they facing?
Koki, Miku, and Chika.
Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe
We then have
Bozilla wins. Maybe Bozilla
um,
wins.
yeah,
Probably not,
probably
but you know.
could do. We then have Mirai and Mai Sakurai versus Utami Hayashishita and Victoria Yuzuki. Oh, that's going to a draw. That's 15 in TLD.
Yeah, probably.
We have Natsumi Suzuki and Myla Grace versus Misa Matsui and Rhea Seto, which is all right.
Hmm.
Kazuna Tanaka versus Nao Ishikawa. Gonna be wild seeing Nao lose that against Kazuna.
Yeah.
And our
Redream,
opener,
baby.
I think this is a rematch. It's Komomo Minami versus Minami Yuki. Is that Yuki's
Yeah,
debut match?
that is a rematch. Yeah, because Yuki won.
Yes. I really hate Komomo Minami. Yeah, that's the 3 shows. Honestly, there's some good stuff in there.
Hmm.
I am kind of interested in some of the undercard matches. I think some of the rookies have come along fairly well. Obviously, Myla Grace has improved. Um, so yeah, that's fun. But that's that for the show for this week. We got through it all. So, any closing remarks, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time this past weekend. I enjoyed what I was given. Like I said, I think the Hazuki Kid thing was one of the best Storm segments in a long, long time. I thought it was really dope. I thought Marigold had a great Korakuen that just is fun to watch. Like I feel like Marigold. I know some people don't love it as much as I do, but I feel like Marigold is just such popcorn wrestling that I just like. I enjoy sitting
Korakuen was
down
over
and
in
with.
like 2 hours, and I was just like,
Yeah, that's
this
what I
is
mean. Is
heaven.
that like I'll watch it during work. You know, I'll watch it. I'll watch it while I'm eating, and I'll just enjoy it because it's not like that intensive. There's not that much wrong with it. Like there's not many just like annoyances that I get from it. Where it's like, oh, that's just dumb. That shouldn't have. Outside of draws, and I'm growing to be like, you know what? I get it. It happens. Whatever. I don't really care. So it's just a lot of fun, and Stardom when Stardom hits, it's lovely. So I'm happy.
All
Good
right.
week.
Well, yeah, I had fun. We'll be back next week where we will have less fun because I think all 6 shows are on VOD, so they'll all be up
I'm
like
praying they give us the
Monday,
fucking
Tuesday,
God League teams by then,
maybe.
because like
Maybe.
then at least we'll have something to like think about.
Yes. It could be a weird show next week. I don't think there'll be much to dive into, so we'll just end up being like, this was a
Yeah.
good match. See you next week. But yeah, all right, it's time to close the show. So if you want to stand, you may stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in.
Stay golden.
Joe.
Ijo.